Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, Professional Writing, Master's degrees in Public Administration and Criminal Justice. I live stream on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Fridays 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturday and Sunday starting between 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today it is Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The time went back, I believe. So it's actually before PM, but we're not gonna make this a regular thing. Sometimes I do live stream spontaneously, you can say a little bit throughout the week. So yeah, today is Trivia Monday. On Mondays, I like to do trivia. Education is a big part of the Uniquely Mia channel. So when I can include educational aspect throughout the channel via the content that we have, we'll definitely do it. If you would like to see education videos related specifically to public administration and criminal justice, definitely go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and watch my education playlist videos. So, similar to what we did in February for Black History Month, where like every Monday of the month of February, we had like Black History Month questions. Since this month is actually Women's History Month, I believe I've been seeing that. So we are going to start with some interesting facts about female history, women's history, which is definitely one of my favorite topics. So we'll all learn something a little bit about the along the way. And since feminist is definitely a hot topic on my channel, we can learn a little bit about the feminist movement as well for the month of March, since it is Women's History Month this month, every Monday that we do the trivias. Alrighty. So let me go find some questions. But if you have a question, comment, concern, want to get my opinion on something, feel free to type in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer it. So let's see. But I would love to know, what did you guys do today? Today for Monday, for me, the chill Monday, honestly, cleaned up a little bit. I cleaned up my room, folded up some clothes, put some stuff away, and then I didn't clean. I cleaned the living room a little bit, not a lot. I just organized one of my mom desk, and then that was basically it. But let's see what we find. Welcome, welcome to the live stream. Glad you could be here. How's everything going with you today? Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. It's Uniquely Mia here. Glad y'all could be on the live stream. It is Trivia Mondays. And on Mondays, we learn a little bit of information together while also making it educational at the same exact time. But as always, if you guys have a question, comment, or concern for me, feel free to type it on the chat. Would love to know, what did you guys do today? What are your plans for this upcoming week? The algorithm knew that y'all wanted to be part of a community where you're welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. So I recommend the channel to you guys. Do consider liking the video and subscribing so you never have to leave. Welcome back if you're a returning supporter. Hey Cam, how are you doing today? Glad you could be on the live stream. It's always a pleasure when you're on. So it's Trivia Monday. Before you get into Trivia Monday, I would love to know, what did you do today? What are your plans for this week looking like? We have a new streaming location, wanted some natural light for the live streams. So it's very sunny outside today, as you guys can like see from the natural lighting coming in. Okay, Cam said, I'm doing well. I finished packing for my trip and eating lunch. Okay, very nice, very nice. What's for lunch today? Okay, nice. Glad you packed early. I'm definitely an early packer too. So when do you actually officially leave for your trip, if you're comfortable sharing? You don't have to if you don't want to. But let's find some trivia questions for Women's History Month while you guys type some comments in the chat if you want to. Okay, Thursday. Okay, this week. All right. So honestly, what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 more days, and you're on vacation, home free, right? Very nice. So, I think based on memory, you said you're going somewhere that has a beach. So enjoy the beach and the hot weather, climate conditions. I'm really happy because New York is finally warming up. Warming up. It's 67 degrees and sunny. I'm not even lying. I'm looking at the weather app. That's crazy. I feel like if I were outside right now, I would not need a jacket. So, fingers crossed the weather in New York stays warm and it doesn't snow anymore. But let me find some trivia questions. Okay. Did you guys know it was Women's History Month today? I didn't know either, honestly. I was just on social media and I saw people saying that. So I always said that every month it seems like there's a holiday, but some holidays are like widely promoted while other holidays aren't widely promoted. So it's very interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. Is there any other topics that you guys would like me to ask you trivia questions on? I was thinking we could start out with some historical facts about women's history, right? And then some hot topics that I know people liked in the past. Anatomy was a fun one. And then which one? Food questions was also a fun one. Okay, these questions are not good. One second. What happened? Using your website, like I have to find the answers. One second. 1 minute. Okay. But welcome everybody today. My mom, she made breakfast today. She made bakes. It wasn't baked, it was float. She said she was making bakes, but the way she actually like looked at it, it came out to being floats. Oh, this one's a good one. It ties back into Black History Month a little bit too. Black History Month was literally last month, so I like this question. So, welcome everybody to the stream. The algorithm knew that y'all wanted to be part of it. Community where you're welcome. So, welcome. It is time for Trivia Monday. We're starting off with some Women's History Month questions. So let's. This one's a good one. I do like this question. This question. I think some this people may know this one, but we'll see. I hope y'all know this one. If you don't, it's okay. It's a learning opportunity. So the first trivia question, if it will load, is my internet working today? I don't know if the internet's working, but while the trivia questions load, right, I had to put it in on my laptop. As I said, this morning, Queen Mother, she made bakes and saltfish, but it wasn't bakes, it was floats. Floats is a little bit more airy than bakes. Bakes is very doughy. And then she also made saltfish with scrambled eggs. I traditionally don't like saltfish, but when she mixes it with the eggs, it's decent. It tastes pretty good. So it was a good breakfast. It was honestly, it was a fill-in breakfast. Then again, we did eat breakfast late. We ate breakfast around 11 a.m. You know, when food is so good, you don't even get a video of it. The food was so good, I didn't even get a video of it, guys. So you will have to believe me that it was really good. But why isn't my poll working, guys? The internet's not working. How are we gonna have Trivia Monday if the internet's not working for the poll? Let me try one more time. If not, we can always turn it into a chat session. I have other ideas in my head on what this stream can be for if the poll does not want to work to load the poll for the trivia questions. But let me try one more time. But for everyone on, I would love to know what are you guys doing today? What did you eat? Cam said she is eating lunch. She finished packing for her vacation, so that's very exciting. Okay, let's see. Let me create this one. Yes, this wait, what is that? Okay, start poll. Let's see if it works. Okay, finally, that one worked. All right. Okay. Hey, Kinsley, that's a pretty name. How are you doing today, Kinsley? Glad you could be on the live stream. So, our first trivia question for Women's History Month, which ties into Black History Month a little bit. Which woman famously refused to give up her seat on the bus, sparking the Montgomery bus boycott? Was it Rosa Parks? Was it Claudette Colvin or Corletta Scott King? Who are we thinking? Who do you think, guys? A, B, or C? Okay, Kinsley said, thank you. I'm good. Glad you're doing good, Kinsley. I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much for asking. It is Trivia Monday today. Yes, my name is Mia, also known as Uniquely Mia, and the algorithm knew you wanted to be part of a community where you are welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. So, you are in the right place. I would love to know, what did you do today? What are your plans for the week? Did you do anything exciting over the weekend? Over the weekend, I went to the gym, right? And if you ever want to see Uniquely Me at the gym, check out I live stream my gym workouts starting between 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, most Saturday and Sundays. Okay, hey Annis, how are you doing today? Like a story or what do you mean? No, this was a real thing. So Rosa Parks, this was a real thing that happened. This was prior to the Civil Rights Act of 1964 happening in the United States in Montgomery, Alabama. Montgomery, yes, I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Montgomery, Alabama, right? It was the segregated South, we can say, right? And in the segregated South, there was Jim Crow laws, nothing good Jim Crow laws. Blacks had to use separate facilities compared to white individuals, right? But in particular, for buses, for public transportation, right? African American individuals had to sit at the back of the bus, right? While white individuals sat at the front of the bus, right? But Rosa Parks, she was like, this isn't right, right? Why do we have to have separate stuff, right? Why do I have to sit at the back of the bus? I'm a paying human being as well, right? So she boycotted and she sat at the front of the bus. And then when the bus driver and other white individuals came up to her, be like, give me your seat. This is the front of the bus. Rosa Parks was like, no, I'm not doing this, right? So essentially that's how it sparked the Montgomery bus boycott. And because of Rosa Parks and other civil rights activists, Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed, and thus we don't got to sit at the back of the bus anymore. Fun fact for y'all, Rosa Parks was not actually the first one to do this. Another individual was the first one to do this. Her name is one of the answers. Let me actually get her correct name. I think it's Claudette, I believe, but let me actually verify who it is. Um, Who was the first one? Yes, it was Claudette Cloven. She was actually the first one to do this, but the correct answer for this is Rosa Parks, right? So what happened with Claudette? They did not, the NAACP, they did not want Claudette to be like the spokesperson for this because she was dark skinned, right? Colorism is a real thing. Colorism exists today in 2026. Colorism existed back in the day. So when NAACP was thinking about this figurehead to represent them, they wanted somebody who was palatable, you can say, right? Who the whites would somewhat accept, right? So the first original woman was too dark and she was like only 16 years old and she was a single mother. And that was like a big no for them. So yeah, Rosa Parks was like not the first to do it, but she is important because she was the person who like did it and made it a big thing, right? So the correct answer for this is Rosa Parks. So a little bit of history lesson right there for you guys. Let me read some of these comments. Hey Evan, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. It's Trivia Monday. Hey Jason, how's everything going with you? Hello, Wisconsin. Excellent history of Black people. A lot of people made Black history back then in the 50s. Oh, yeah, that is true. Kinsley said, okay, cute. You're welcome. I went to school and came home Saturday. I went to a birthday party Saturday on Sunday. You went to a race. What about you? Very nice, very nice. Sounds like you had a weekend filled with fun activities and adventures. Awesome, Kinsley. So yes, what did I do? As I said, I just went to the gym over the weekend and I live streamed. So yeah. So this is Trivia Monday, Kinsley, and all the new people here. So on Mondays, one big component of the Unique Lumia channel is education. So I do try to tie education into everything that I do on the channel. So Trivia Mondays are a fun way to do it. And this month is Women's History Month. So we are starting the Trivia Monday sessions or the live streams with asking some trivia questions related to females' history, right? And the reason why I was going like giving you guys a mini history lesson was because somebody did ask a question saying, "Who is Rosa Parks?" or what is happening, right? So that's why I just wanted to provide a little bit of um clarification right there. So here's our second question. Hey Mark, how are you doing today? You're beautiful as well, Mark. Glad you could be here. What did you do, Mark? What did you do? So the second trivia question related to Women's History Month is who became the first female Supreme Court justice in the United States? Was it Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Was it Sandra Day O'Connor? Or was it Elizabeth Satin, let's say? Yes, Santon. Who was the first female Supreme Court justice? Who are we thinking, guys? Kinsley said, yes, girlie, sorry, didn't hear you. Okay, these seem nice. These seem nice. Okay, okay, nice, nice. Yeah. And like if you find the trivia is not up to your forte, not that entertaining for you, I'll totally understand. Remember, on the Uniquely Mia channel, you're welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. As the name suggests, I'm unique. I'm a unique individual. So we have videos related to fashion, travel, adventure, hair, nails, shopping, unboxing, education, and a lot more. The live streams, we also do a lot of different things on the live streams. We have a trivia question happening right now, so feel free to answer the question. It's just for fun, just to further our knowledge. If you don't know the answer, make an educated guess. And if you can't make an educated guess, just make a random answer. And you know what? You are in timeout for that one because that I know what you're trying to do there a little bit. So we do not respond to that over here. Kinsley said, okay, I'm gonna leave. Bye bye, Mia. Have a good day slash night. God loves you. Same to you. Same to you, Kinsley. It was a pleasure having you on. Hopefully, I see you in the next live stream or the comment section of my Flowing Traditional YouTube video or YouTube Shorts. Okay. But is there any topics in particular y'all would like me to ask you trivia questions on? It can be anything, right? It can be things of trivia questions about religion, fashion, a criminal justice topic, a car topic, right? We haven't done cars yet or religion trivia question yet, but this should be this could these live streams, the trivia Mondays, they should be entertaining, right, but also educational. And for them to be entertaining and a little bit fun, they should be on topics you guys like. But we have a poll question happening. We have 2 votes. Let's see if we get some more votes, guys. There's You're not reprimanded at all. Oh, this one's a good one. The next one. Okay. I'm looking ahead. Okay. Alrighty, putting your answers. We have some good answers in. Okay. 33% of y'all said Ginsburg. 67 said O'Connor. We have some good answers. We'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. And the correct answer is 27% of y'all. So minority rules here, guys. So the first female Supreme Court justice was Sandra O'Connor. That was between, wow, that was a long time. 1930 to 2023 she served. That's a long time, bro. There's no way. Did I get that wrong? Is that just how long she lived? That had to be how long she lived. Yeah, there's no way she served that long. Okay. Okay, that's how long she lived. She served from 1981 to 2006. Okay. That's still a long time. All right, let's do another one. Hey, glad you could be here, Johnson. How's everything going with you today? What are me and my mom doing another karaoke? Soon, soon. We'll do another karaoke soon for y'all. I don't know if we could do it this month or maybe next month, but we'll do another karaoke for you guys soon. Karaoke is something that when my mom and I do, we make it very lengthy, right? So it often like takes our voice out a little bit. So we did karaoke January 1st, 2026, and then we haven't done another one yet, but we will do another karaoke for y'all in the year of 2026. All right. So we'll have another one soon. But how are you doing today, Johnson? Glad you could be here. Hey, how you doing? Nunu, glad you could be here. How's everything going with you today? I'm Uniquely Mia, also known as Mia, and you've stumbled into Trivia Monday. It is Women's History Month, so happy Women's History Month, right? We get a month, but it's not even a federal holiday or anything like that. But small strides, right? So we are asking some trivia questions. Okay. Glad you're doing good today, Nunu. I am doing good. Thank you for asking. Today was an in-house day where I cleaned up a little bit. My mom, I helped my mom make breakfast. She made bakes, also known as floats, with some saltfish and eggs. It was really good. So, this question here: which landmark U.S. law passed in 1972 aimed to prohibit sex based discrimination in education? Do you think it was Title IX? Do you think it was the Equal Pay Act? Do you think it was the Civil Rights Act? Or are we thinking it was the Glass Ceiling Act? Which one are we thinking? This is very important, right? Because sex-based discrimination is gender. So this law prohibits gender-based discrimination, right? So it's not so it's saying essentially if I wanted to go and get a job in a quote unquote predominantly male dominated field, which would probably be I don't know, construction work, a male dominated field. Prior to 1972, the employer could have looked at me and be like, you know what, you're a female. You're not getting hired, no matter even if I was more than qualified compared to my male counterpart, right? So with the passing of this law, whatever the correct answer is, it essentially prohibits that. I just forgot about that, but this is in education. So let's take that to the school and setting, right? So yeah, in education in particular. So if I wanted to go to a construction school, prior to 1972, they'd be like, no, you can't get into the construction school because you're a female. After 1972, they probably still did it, but if you could have proven that they excluded you because of this after 1972, that's a violation of the law. So yeah, but I like these trivia questions. We learned something along the way. But is there any topics that y'all would like me to ask you trivia questions on as well? Because we don't focus on one topic throughout the whole stream. We could do another topic about food, about religion. We could do another one about fashion, about cars, anything at all. But what are we thinking the answer is? Put your answers in or make an educated guess. We'll end in five, four, three, two, and one. Okay, let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. And what do we have? 67% of you guys are correct. It is title IX. So we will do one more trivia question related to the female what is it, women's history month, female history, women's history in the United States and abroad, and then we'll pivot into a different topic. But as I said, for the month of March, every Monday that we do have the 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live streams, we're restream from the Unique Lumia studio, right? We will do I'll ask y'all some trivia questions related to women's history to start off. So let's find another one. Okay, maybe this one. Okay. I'm looking for a good one, guys. I'm looking for another one we can ask. And one that you guys may know of a little bit. I don't want to make it too hard. Let's do this one. Okay. But how's everyone doing today? I would love to know. How was your weekend? How was your Monday, right? It is Monday, the first day of the week. How do you guys feel about a Monday? Do you like Monday is the worst week for you guys, or do you think it's the best week? I mean, the best day. Okay. Hot in here. All right. Title IX, Are You Slow is title 6. Well, I mean, I see IX. I know letters. You are correct, right? I guess it would translate to 6, right? But I learned my alphabet. So thank you for that. So the next one is which of the following movements focus primarily on women's suffrage in the early 20th century? What are we thinking, guys? Do you think it was the Siena Falls Convention? Do you think it was the hashtag Me Too movement? Do you think it was the National Organization for Women? Or are we thinking it was the Women's Social and Political Union? Just make an educated guess if you don't know the answer, but what are we thinking? Which movement focused primarily on women's suffrage in the early 20th century? This is stuff they should really teach in schools because 9 times out of 10, this isn't really taught in schools, right? It's either you learn independently or you take a class that's specific to this. But what are we thinking? Let's see. Okay, we got some answers. Okay, okay. Okay. All right. We got two. Any other guesses what we think it may be? Those are some good guesses right there. Okay, we'll end it in five, four, three, two. Okay. And one. Let's end the polls and the poll. This went in the direction where I thought it would have gone into. 0% of you guys got it correct. The correct answer is actually the Siena Falls Convention, right? So, the hashtag Me Too movement, you it's not correct. However, I understand why most of y'all chose that, because that hashtag Me Too movement is what has been pushed right onto society. They're aware of it because of the media. I really never learned about the Me Too movement, but I know what it is, right? Because of the mass media that pushes it on. And hashtag Me Too movement is essentially that movement saying, okay, females who have gone through like sexual harassment in the workplace or assault in the workplace prior to this movement, they didn't feel protective or comfortable coming out about that. Because of this movement, they're more willing and comfortable to do that now, right? And then for the other one, that was the most common answer that y'all chose. What was it? It was the Women's Social and Political Union. That's honestly a good guess, right? If you didn't know, I would do that one too. And then the National Organization for Women, another good one. But the correct answer is the Siena Falls Convention. I've never heard about this one before, so we'll do some research about this together. This research is going to be just Google. Google is never a valid source of research or information. However, for the purposes of this live stream, so we don't take a deep dive, I'll just read what Google says it is. So this occurred in 1848, the Siena Falls Convention, and it launched to organize women's rights movement in the US, producing the Declaration of Centennials. Oh, I did hear about this. I guess I forgot U.S. history. I heard about it a little bit. Okay, it was a document that modeled after the Declaration of Independence, and it demanded equal rights for women, including education, property rights, and it also provided the right to vote, also known as suffrage, and a lot more. So this was definitely a very important one, the first of its kind, you can say a little bit. So yeah, that's a little bit about that. So now we'll move into, I don't know, what other ones can we move into? I guess let's see what type of religion trivia questions we have about, well, no, not religion. Let's do what type of topics you want? Let's do travel. Travel, but if there's any type of topics you guys want me to ask you questions on, feel free to leave in the chat. What'd you say? Code said, don't ask questions or ask anything if you can't understand what Roman numerals are. You're pretending you know what you're speaking on. You don't. You're looking it up on Google like a fool. That's really funny. Well, I'll let you know something. The way you learn, right? And the way people further their knowledge, you ask questions on things you don't know about, right? One thing that I've learned throughout my undergraduate studies, right, where I was able to receive a bachelor's of science in psychology and professional writing, right? And throughout my graduate studies, where I was able to receive my master degrees in public administration and criminal justice, right? Is that the way you learn and further your knowledge, and most importantly, gain those critical thinking skills to become a better human being and individual. You ask questions and you research on topics, right? That you don't know anything about. So, yeah, you are correct. I'm getting these questions and answers from Google. Some of the answers I already know, right? But when I ask these random questions about these random topics, yeah, best believe I'm coming from Google and I'm getting that information from Google, because we live in a modern age and the internet and Google, it's not a valid source to cite in research papers, but when you want to gain that baseline of knowledge, right, just to make it entertaining and learn something new, Google's a great source of information. And Cold, if you want to be part of a community where you want to learn, right, and where you want to learn about random topics that you possibly wouldn't learn of independently, if it's since it's not your field of study, subscribe to the Unique Lumia channel and immerse yourself into the world of Unique Lumia, where you can learn things from education, where you can learn things from fashion to cross culture to food and a lot more. Already, Cole? Okay. Hey, Share Beer, how are you doing? Hey, New York, I see you. Okay, okay. Glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. I like the different, sometimes I like the different names. It's very interesting to hear the different names you guys refer to me as. I've gotten Dracula. I've gotten Dracula before. Somebody said I look like, I forgot the other name, and now I'm New York. Okay, very nice, very nice. I'll take it. I'll take it. Glad you're doing good today, Share Beer. Welcome to Trivia Monday with Unique Lumia. So we just finished some trivia questions related to women's history, right? So now we are gonna pivot and I'm gonna ask you guys some trivia questions related to travel. If there's any topics y'all would like me to ask you trivia questions on, I'll be more than happy to do that. I feel like it would be interesting to ask some trivia questions about religion, but I do want to make it like inclusive to everyone, right? So we'll probably have to do all religions when we do that one. But for now, something easy, we'll just do some travel trivia questions. All right. But I would love to know what you guys eat today. How was your Monday? How was your weekend? Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, this one's a good wait, no, I asked I don't wanna ask, like, repeat questions because sometimes some in the past oh, this one's a good one. Some in the past when I've asked these trivia questions, travel, sometimes they've been a little bit repetitive, and that's not really fair to, like, everyone, right? If they're repetitive, because somebody may know the answer from a previous stream. Ooh, that sounds good, Share Beer. You're eating good, Share Beer. Share Beer had a grilled chicken salad. Sounds healthy too. Like salad, let it turn to sugar in your body, but it sounds good. And then the grilled chicken, healthy source of protein. You didn't get it fried, right? So it's much healthy. Very nice, very nice. I just ate one meal today, but it was very filling. I had floats, also known as eggs and saltfish. It was pretty good. So this question right here, which city is famous for the canals of Venice? Do you think it's Amsterdam? No, that's not bad. Did I just give you the correct answer? What? You know what? I'm not gonna say none. None. What do you think it is? Amsterdam, Venice, or Stockholm? Which city is famous for the canals of Venice? Guys, if this question was on an exam, I would be so happy. I'm like, teacher, professor, what did you do? Or like, did you just trick me up? I think there's two things that could happen. Everyone would choose the correct answer, or everyone will not choose the correct answer because you don't think the answer would be right in front of your face like that, right? All right. So put the answers in. Put the answers in. What are we thinking? We'll end the poll in five, four. You look like you finna steal something from Family Dollar. What? What? How do I look like I'm a finna steal? How do I look like I'm gonna steal something from Family Dollar? I need you to elaborate. Like what? What vibes give that off to you? Five, four, three, two, and one. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. Okay. So 67% of you guys are correct. 67% of you guys are correct. The city known for the cows is Venice. That city, literally, if you look up Venice on social media, it looks like it's almost going to be underwater very soon. And people said, like in 50 years, probably, they said it's not even going to be there anymore, right? You look at a person that buys dollar. Where in America can you find dollar groceries, Nathaniel? Are you just saying stuff, Nathaniel? Remember, do not rely on stereotypes, discrimination, and prejudice, right? The reason why you're not in timeout right now is just because you haven't said anything racial directly, right? And you really haven't. What you said is you just what is it, pushing stereotypes that has been perpetuated on social media, which shows that's not really educated right there. But remember, Nathaniel, let's not do that. Gia's here. Yeah, I got into a room and now Gia's here, guys. What are we saying? That's rude, Nathaniel. And there's gonna be rude individuals that and when people it's not necessarily rude, it's just uneducated. It is rude, but it shows their level of intelligence more so than their rudeness, I feel like. Hey super. I love your energy and enjoying these facts. Thank you so much, Super. I'm glad that you are enjoying the energy. Get some positive energy. Positive energy to all of Unique Lumia supporters, positive energy to all of y'all. And I'm really glad that you guys so funny, dude. Gia's crashing out. You said what? Gia's crashing out. What is this? What is this on your bed? It's flowers. She's looking at my comforters, flowers. No, not that. Look, it's wet. Did you just Why did you do that? Why did you open he opened my he opened my body wash and he got it on my comforter and he's like, why is it wet? Because you opened my stuff. Hi, Love Positive. Thank you so much for the donation. Hearts to you, hearts to you. Shout out to Love Positive. They purchased a $1.99 super chat. I really appreciate the donation. You are helping me get one step closer to being able to pay off my student loan debt. I really, really, really do appreciate your donation. It's Harry Potter. What? Who's Perry Potter? You don't even know? That's not. It's Harry Potter. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate the donation. All proceeds made off of social media goes in its own separate account. And one day when I'm able to pay off my student loan debt, you will be able to contribute a portion to that. Really, really do appreciate it. Bye. But glad you're enjoying the video. Super. Really appreciate it. So let's get back into the streams. We had a momentarily we had a special guest who made a mess in my room and left. Open my body wash and put on the comfort. What craziness is that, guys? Like what? That's crazy. Alrighty. But yeah, Venice, it's underwater. If you look at it on social media, people literally get around using boats, which is pretty crazy to me. Okay. So let's see, what's another one? Okay, so this one's a good one. This one is asking you guys about mountains. Are you guys mountain people? Has any of y'all ever been hiking? I don't think I don't think I've ever been hiking. Maybe when I was younger, but like I was carried. Like I really didn't walk much, honestly. But do you guys like hiking? And would you hike? The correct answer for this question. All right, so Mount Everest is located in which mountain range? Do you think it's the Himalayas? Do you think it's the Andes? Are we thinking it is the Rockies? Or do you think it's the Alps? Mount Everest is located in which mountain range? I mean, Mount Everest, it's a really tall mountain, snows there, right? You get a vacation when you go to Mount Everest, but you're also risking your lives. People on social media, I've seen people say they're hiking Mount Everest. They'll actually pay to go there. And some people, unfortunately, have gotten frozen. That's like a situation you knowingly did this activity, knowing you would not survive. What? Like, do you feel sorry for that person at that point or what? Because why did you do that? You knew there was a possibility. Those people, like, those are the people you need to interview. Their fear response in their brain or something, in my opinion, is just not there. Or I don't know. And that's really interesting. But would you guys ever hike Mount Everest? We'd be curious to know. So we got some answers. Is doing moving around a little bit. It's looking good. It's looking good. We got 60% said the Himalayas, 20% said they think it's the Andes, and 20% said the Rockies. Okay. We got some good guesses in the chat. Any other people want to put some answers in before we move on? We're gonna end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. So the correct answer is 60% of you guys. So Mount Everest, is located in the Himalayas mountain range. So yeah, if you guys ever want to go hiking in Mount Everest, start a YouTube channel, like Uniquely Me Unknown supporters, so we can follow you on your journey, right? But that's where you'll also be going, to the Himalayas. Okay, so let's see one more travel question and then we'll move on. I have no control over that car beeping, so if it's annoying, I can't do nothing about it. As apologies, guys. At least you know I'm not wealthy enough to be streaming from a private jet at this moment in time, right? Because we streaming from a private jet, you got no car horns. So yeah, one day we'll be there. So let's see. I don't think you could stream from the plane. I remember one time I was on the plane and I tried to do a stream from the plane, but it wouldn't work. I don't think you could do that. They block it, the internet. So, the Great Barrier Reef is located off the coast of which country? Do you think it's Australia? Do you think it's New Zealand? Are we thinking it's Fiji? Or do you think it's Indonesia? And I will be going to all those places. Sounds very cool. So yeah, Australia, they're now going into their winter, and we in North America are now going into our summer. So it's flipped in Australia. When it's cold in America, it's summer there, and when it's summer in America, it's cold in Australia. Fun fact, I never really knew that until recently. Interesting fun fact right there. Does anybody live in Australia on stream? I know I have some Australian supporters. They're in and out. Shout out to all of Unique Lumia supporters, right? Shout out to everyone who has subscribed to the Unique Lumia channel and decided to be part of the community. Worldwide, guys. We gain cross-cultural knowledge, right, from each other on the live stream. We communicate what you like about your country, you don't like about your country, the time zones, the weather, the food, etc. Do consider immersing yourself into the content I have on my channel. Shout out to all the returning supporters. I really appreciate y'all. If you are a new viewer here, consider subscribing, right? And always immerse yourself into the videos that I have, right? I show you what my life is like. And via watching the videos, watching the live streams, I do hope y'all are able to always remember to be positive and your unique self while also gaining that cross-cultural knowledge and learning something along the way. So this trivia question here, the Great Barrier Reef is located off the coast of which country? What are we thinking? We got 2 votes in, and we got like 5 people on stream. Don't be scared, guys. Just put an educated guess. If you don't know the answer, just make a random guess if you have to. I don't know who's putting the answers in the poll, right? So it's completely anonymous. Hey, how are you doing? Mila, glad you could be here. How's everything going with you? Okay. Glad you could be here. It's Trivia Monday. The algorithm knew you wanted to be part of a community where you are welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. So right now you have no idea. Do you want to make an educated guess? If you don't, we're gonna end the poll soon. Honestly, it was really funny, but glad you could say that. Honestly, just make an educated guess. There's no you're not reprimanded, right? If you get the answer wrong, if like you choose an answer and like, hey, it's wrong. That means next time, you never know. Perhaps you're having a conversation with somebody, or perhaps you'll be at an orientation and they'll ask you the question. You're like, hey, I know the answer now because of Unique Lumia's live stream, right? So we'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the polls and the polls and the poll. And 100% of you guys are correct. So the Great Barrier Reef is located off the coast of Australia. Do you guys want me to tell y'all how I know the answer? I can. It's actually pretty funny. It's not that funny, but it's I know the answer because growing up, I loved Mako mermaids and H2O just add water. It was like mermaid. There was 3 main characters. Cleo, Emma. I forgot the last girl's name. No, and Ricky, Cleo, Emma, and Ricky, and they were mermaids. Like anything, they went to Mako Island, and then they were in a mermaid pool, right? And then they got transformed into mermaids. Um, and they were in Australia, and they often swam by the Great Barrier Reef. I watched that show a lot when I was a kid. It was my favorite TV show. It's definitely still one of my favorite TV shows. So yeah, that's how I know the answer. So TV shows can teach you stuff. Mila said, "Is that via New Zealand and Indonesia?" Oh, your accent is Australia by New Zealand and Indonesia? Let's actually figure that answer out together. Let me say. Let's see. According to Google, yes, Australia is geographically positioned near Indonesia and New Zealand. So yeah, Indonesia is directly north, and New Zealand is on the southeast. Okay. Glad you're doing good. Glad you're doing good. I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much for asking. Today was an in-house day, cleaned up a little bit, and now we get to do some fun Trivia Monday where we all learn together. So we're next moving into some religion questions for the trivia. We'll probably do 3 or 4 just to make it inclusive of all religions, right? But I want the stories. They're just giving these. I feel like it's fun to get religion questions related to the stories, right? So, like, what story do I want to tell that I haven't told you guys before? I feel like I've told you all my favorite ones. I don't know. Okay. If my mom was here, she knows which one I'm choosing. We'll do one that I've always talked about. But no, let's do a different one, actually. I'm going to do a different one. Okay, we'll start with one trivia question related to another Bible story. Wait a minute. Okay. 1 minute, my dudes. Like, you guys may be wondering, Mia, why don't you set up these questions before you stream? Because honestly, I don't know what direction the trivia is gonna go until I actually start the stream. So that's why. Okay. This one's a good one. If you've listened to Queen Mother, you know the answers to this one. I've never really told this story before. It's a good story in the Bible, but it's not necessarily my favorite. This is more so my mom's favorite a little bit. But if you listen to Queen Mother, you'll know the answer. Or if you just read the Bible, you know the answer, right? Hey Shadow, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. How are you doing today? Glad you could be here. It is Trivia Monday, so we are starting well, we are not starting. We are now asking some questions about some Bible stories for trivia. Alrighty? Okay, so this one, what was the source of Samson's greatest strength? Do you think it was his long hair? Do you think it was his spear? Do you think it was his sandals? Well, you know what's wrong, right? Do you know, or do you think it was his diet? Do you think it was his diet? What are we thinking? What was the source of Samson's greatest strength? His long hair, his spear, his sandals, or was it his diet, guys? No idea, really? Wow, okay, okay. Okay. Um, oh, this one's the next one. I'm gonna ask you guys. Oh no, that's sad though, but I'll ask it to you. Let's go. Okay. Da-da-da. Okay, so let's end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're split on this one. Okay, okay. It's a good split. All right, so 75. You're like, why Delilah? Like, we're getting like exactly why Delilah, but Delilah wasn't even for him anyway. But we're gonna get there. I'm gonna tell you the story a little bit based on memory. But okay, so 75% of you guys said his long hair, and 25% have said his diet. The correct answer is his long hair. I mean, valid inference for the 25 who said his diet, right? Because eating makes you strong, right? But Samson's source for his strength was his long hair. I guess that's why my mom doesn't like cutting her hair. I guess that's why I cut my hair, but if I didn't have to, I would never cut my hair, I guess. So essentially the story of Samson was born, right? I believe he was born, or I think he was an Israelite. Yeah, that's what he was. And then essentially he was married 2 times, my mom said, but his strength came from his hair. He was ridiculously strong, Samson. Like he could fight like a you think about Hercules, he's Samson, right? They're different people, but that's who he would be, right? He could fight like, I don't know, 100 people and beat them up easily, right? The riddle, my mom loves the riddle from Samson, but why Delilah? Delilah was Samson's second wife, I believe my mom said. And essentially, Samson was not supposed to tell anybody that his strength came from his hair. That's what God said. God was like, Samson, do not tell nobody your strength came from your hair, right? So Samson didn't tell anybody. And then Samson saw Delilah, the beautiful Delilah, right? And then Samson was infatuated with her beauty. I guess he loved her. They got married. And even when they were married, right, Delilah was trying to figure out, Samson, what is your greatest strength? Where does your unhumanly strength come from, right? So Samson told her like lies to begin, right? Samson lied to her. And every time Samson told her the lie that was his greatest strength, the enemy would automatically know, right? Samson's enemy would know. And Samson, he didn't critically think. And why didn't he critically think and was like, how do you know? I only ever told my wife, right? Because Delilah was actually his enemy, right? He never figured that out. So finally, Samson told Delilah that his greatest strength was actually his hair. And you know what happened? His enemies captured him and they cut off his hair. And then his greatest strength was no longer his greatest strength. He became kind of weak like a regular human. However, he did regain his strength momentarily to do something. Um, and this is going to segue into our next trivia question. So that was a crash course of the story. My mom would have told the story much better, but she's not here right now. So yeah, Unique Lamia's version. But you can look at the Bible, read the Bible. They have great movies about it. Right. So there's a movie. I remember I saw the movie when I was younger. I saw a lot of like, the documentary inspired movies. I saw that, and the movie's really good. I don't know the name of it. Maybe I'll figure out the name of it and share with you guys. But Samson is definitely one of a good character, like one of my favorites as well from the Bible. Good story, a little bit. Um, you like Samson? Yeah. He's a good character. You like the spear part? I have to rewatch the movie. I don't remember the spare part. Love Positive said, what do you say Samson's strike was his fate to God? Well, yeah, his strength was his fate to God, right? And this segues into our next question, right? Because in the story, his hair was one of his strengths, right? But for this next question, we will see how his true strength was actually his fate to God, right? And this question is too long, like the answer choices are too long for me to put in the poll. So I will have to I'm gonna put it in the chat, guys, because all the answers it can't fit. So one second. So this is gonna segue into our next question that I'm gonna ask you guys right now. Okay. Okay. So I had to put it in the chat. Hey Tat, how are you doing today? King Solomon, he was a prophet. Yes, that's what people said. Yes, King Sol was he a prophet? Some people say he was a prophet, but who was King Solomon? I'm gonna tell you a little bit after I read this question aloud for the people who wants to answer it. Um, what did Samson famously do in the Temple of the Dragon? So I'm gonna make a poll for A, B, C, or D in case you guys want to remain anonymous when you put your answers in. I do understand that some people want to do that. So A, B, C, or D, you can vote in the poll. So the question is, what did Samson famously do in the Temple of the Dragon? Was it A, did he push the pillars apart, killing himself and many what is that? What is that? Palestinians? B, did he burn the temple trick? C, C, did he hide the Ark of the Covenant? Or D, did he rebuild the temple? So to answer your question, somebody said Mila said King Solomon was a prophet. Yeah, some people say he was a prophet, right? Especially since he is written down in the Bible, but he was a king. Once again, Israel, yeah, king of Israel. And yeah, he was a prophet in his own way. He was a prophet because like he built the huge temple for God, right? And he was one of the most knowledgeable people you can say in the Bible or just during his time. He was very knowledgeable because he got his knowledge from God, right? He would go in the temple, he would pray to God, and some say that he literally spoke to God. God directly spoke to him and told him what to do and gave him this knowledge that people on earth did not have, right? So he was a king, he was an emperor, you can say, um, famous for the more than 400 wives, right? But in the end, too much knowledge, I guess. He wanted to worship other gods, and God wasn't happy with that. But I guess in the end, he came back to him. So, yeah, in the Bible, when we hear all these people, they're all prophets in their own way, right? Because I guess they're written in the Bible. And they just have this strong belief system, right? And I guess that strong belief system, some people in modern day may suffer. All these people in the Bible suffer from a mental health condition because they were hearing voices, right? But for them, it was just a very strong belief system and they just lived their life a positive way, I guess, in accordance to God. And they said God was speaking to them, thus to justify their actions. So yeah. So put the answers in. I see some votes happening. We got A. All right, so I'm gonna end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. But how are you doing today, Tat K? It's always a pleasure when you're on. So you guys said A. And you guys are correct. So that is the sad part with Samson's story. So, and it relates back to Love Positive's comment, right? Because Love Positive was like, was it actually his fate in God, or was it actually like his strength of the hair that gave him his strength, right? So, in the end, right, he pushed the pillars apart, killing himself and many Palestinians, right? where did you get that strength to push it apart? It had to be the fate in God, right? In my opinion, right? So the way you think about it is what? Have you guys ever heard what's his name? Is it Achilles? Greek mythology. So I know Greek mythology too, so that's why I often compare it. But is that his name? I think it's his name. Let me get his full name. To give it a good example. I mean, not example, but comparison on what I want to say. What's his name? Okay, yes. So if you think about Greek mythology, in Greek mythology, there is a warrior called Achilles, right? And he existed during the Trojan War. And essentially, what happened, his mother dipped him into like the river of Styx when he was a baby. And that river, Greek mythology is fake, right? But in that river, the river of Styx, anybody who goes in it, that's the river of like the undead. So he was alive when his mom dipped him in, but his mom had to hold him by his Achilles heel, right? So what happened was Achilles, he was protected. People would throw spears at his heart. People would try to cut him with his sword. But as long as the people never went to next to his heel, Achilles had the strength, right? Achilles was safe and strong, right? However, what happened during the Trojan War, Achilles, somebody discovered his weakness was his heel. So you know what they did? They threw a spear at his heel, and ultimately that was his downfall. And he died because of one incision, one cut up to his heel. He died because of that. It could have been an infection. It could have been because the spear was really deep. But just because his mom did not dip his whole body in to the river of Sphinx, he was protected anywhere else. People could not hurt him. His head, his chest, his arm, his legs, but his heel, once his heel was injured, he died. When you think about Samson, it's the same way, but it's a little different. Samson's strength, his superhuman strength, came from his hair. So when Samson's hair was cut, he lost his strength. But to relate it back to Love Positive, we could say, yes, he lost his superhuman strength. Samson lost his ability to access it whenever he wanted to access it, right? Once his hair was cut. However, when Samson was in that temple, I'm sure he prayed to God. I'm sure he engaged in his own form of repentance, right? He most likely did ask God, give me the strength one last time to take on our enemies, right? God blessed him with that strength one last time, where he was able to once again get that superhuman abilities to push down the pillars, to kill the enemies, and ultimately himself, right? So to relate it back to Love Positive, I said, why did I say all that? Because his strength, Samson's strength ultimately did come from God, right? But the ability to access it all the time was from his hair. So it was kind of both. And now that we look at religion like Christianity and those stories, there's a lot of parallels with Greek mythology that I'm now noticing, which is very interesting. So, and I say it's interesting, but as I always tell you guys, religion at its core is they're very very similar. But let's do another one. Let's move on from Christianity. Just to be fair, for all religion, I will say I know more so about Christianity than other religions, so I probably won't be as much of this as a storyteller for the other answers or the questions that I asked you guys. But perhaps I'll know a little bit to speak about it. So let's go to Judaism. What stories exist in Judaism? I never read the Torah, I don't know, but let's just ask them. Let's see. Um, give me story. I feel like I skipped some questions. Sorry, guys. Read that. What do you think about Nelson Mandela? South Africa, right? I guess I guess what Nelson and Mandela went through was, I guess, the equivalent to the civil rights act in America, but it was more so for South Africa, right? Because I do know South Africa experienced apartheid, which is crazy. I say it's crazy, but when we think about it, it was like the United States, right? But like the whites went into a black country and did that to them, right? So that's what it was. Nelson Mandela, what people, Africans in South Africa were experiencing the apartheid that was happening, right? Mandela tried to speak out against that. He was in prison for most of his life. And then when he was released, right, he was what? Made president. So, yeah, I think he's a positive individual. You know what? African advocacy and equal opportunity anywhere, no matter where it occurs in the world, is a positive thing in my book, right? Just if you're oppressed, if a group is oppressed, right, and they are advocating for change and they are advocating for that equal rights, right? It is important, right? And Nelson Mandela was locked up for 26 years, right? That's insane. That's a ridiculous amount of time. And when he was released, when he was released, he still had that internal motivation to achieve success, right? To become president, to make advancements for his people. So one lesson that we can learn from Nelson Mandela is saying, if you are not incarcerated and if you live in a society where you quote unquote already have these equal opportunity rights, right? What is your excuse for not advocating for yourself and people who look like you? Why are you sitting down and complaining about things that you don't like is happening in your government, things that you don't like is happening to your people, right? You can go out and make a change. I think that's a very important lesson that we learned from Nelson Mandela, because he was incarcerated for 26 years and he forgave his enemies in a way, and he still had the desire to become president to make a positive change for his people, right? So that story is like, there's no excuse if you're one to complain about all the atrocities, all the terrible things being done against your people and this. We should not complain when you have the privilege of just being not incarcerated, privilege of living in a Western culture, or the privilege of having the opportunities to relocate here to make a change, right? Or somewhere else, right? Yeah. You like Mandelican? Nice. Hey, G Cat, also known as Cats and Pokemon. You missed a notification. Well, you know what? You're here now. You joined right on time. Always a pleasure when you're on the stream. How are you doing today, Cats and Pokemon, also known as Gigi Cat? Glad you could be on. It is Trivia Monday, so we started the live stream with doing some Women History Month trivia questions. Then we did some travel trivia questions. We did some Christianity-based religion trivia questions. Now we're gonna go into some Judaism trivia questions. Oh, Judaism is very similar. Okay, so I know some answers to this a little bit. I guess I can be a storyteller a little bit for y'all, depending on the story we talk about. Hey Christopher, glad you could be here. You're beautiful as well. How are you doing? Glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. Okay, so let's do this one. This one I can probably provide a little bit of background. A little bit. I know a little bit about the story from what my mom has taught me. So we can do this. But I do hope y'all are enjoying the live stream. If there's any topics y'all would like me to ask you trivia questions on, all you have to do is ask, and I'll be more than happy to ask you questions related to that specifically. It should be fun, but also educational. And one way to make it educational, I have to ask you questions that you guys enjoy. Okay, so let's start. Hey, tissue. Okay. Who led the Israelites out of Egypt in the Exodus? Do you think it's Moses, Aaron? Are we thinking it's Joshua, or do we think it's the Pharaoh? Let me use this account. All right. Well, what do you guys eat today? Who just joined? How's your day going? What are your plans for the week? Would love to know. So, who led the Israelites out of Egypt in the Exodus? Who are we thinking? And if you don't know why the question is phrased, who led the Israelites out of Egypt? Because the Israelites, back in ancient Egyptian time under Ramses, they were enslaved, right? Yeah, they wanted their quote unquote, they wanted their freedom, right? But it was more so religious freedom they were seeking towards, I guess, and like outside of religious freedom, but it was more so religious freedom because during that era they worshipped many gods in Egypt, right? What's the god's name? I forgot the name. But they were just a lot, the many gods in Egypt. So yeah, they were persecuted for having their own religion. So they needed a prophet, right? So yeah. Okay. Hey, tissue. I don't got no tissue. It's okay, guys. It's okay, guys. Okay. Yeah, I like Greek mythology. It's fun. I don't believe in Greek mythology. I'm not a practitioner of Greek mythology, but I love the stories. I find them to be very entertaining. And interesting to learn about just the lore that they had people with magic and all this, right? One day I do want to look into African mythology because people said if you love Greek mythology, they all if you love Greek mythology, Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology, it all originated from African mythology, right? So I just like the idea of it, that the magical aspect of it is fun, but I'm not a practitioner of it. I do know a lot about it because when I was younger, I watched a lot of TV shows and did like independent research about it for fun. So yeah. Um, he was never compromised morally. Oh, okay, okay. LOL, yeah, it's so fun. Not a believer either. Okay, nice, nice. Who's your favorite, like, Greek god? If you were to look. My favorite Greek god, honestly, it would have to be Athena and Aphrodite. Just because I feel like my mom would be Aphrodite, so that's why. And then Athena, like, she's the equivalent to Zeus, right? Their character, their behavior is never good. It's not a good character, not a behavior, right? Athena did some terrible things, atrocities. However, her power that she has, I like her power that she has. That's some good power right there. Zeus is no longer in power. Athena is going to be in charge, right? She's the goddess of wisdom. She knows how to fight. She knows to do everything. Hey, Kinsley, glad you could be here. Welcome back. Welcome back. How are you doing today? So, putting your answers, I'm going to end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Listen, the polls in the poll. So 100% of you guys are correct. Okay, so you know your stories. So yes, it was Moses who ultimately did lead the Israelites out of Egypt in the Exodus. Essentially, what happened? So the story starts before Moses was born. So before Moses was born, Ramses' dad heard the prophecy saying that there would be a boy, an Israelite boy, who would become like king of Egypt or who would take him. I forgot. It was something like that. And being paranoid, he was like, you know what? Annihilate, take out, unalive all these male babies who were born on this specific day. So you know what his generals and his soldiers did? They went out to the villages and they tried to do that. And they actually did succeed. However, Moses' mom, no, was it his mom? Yeah, it was his mom. Moses' mom hid him, and then once he was hidden, she couldn't keep the baby because everybody in the village and everybody in Egypt would look at her and be like, how do you have this baby? Like, how do you have this male baby? All the male babies were taken out, right? So she put him in a basket. They made a basket, right? And put him in the lake, the Nile River, right? It wasn't a lake, it was a river. Put him in the Nile River, and he floated to wealth. He floated to his mom, right? His new mom, who was actually the sister of the king who ordered his unaliving, right? But the mom didn't tell Nyan because the mom was married. Her husband unfortunately died, right? She wanted a baby. She took the baby and she threatened her maid. She was like, if you tell anybody that I took this baby, you are not going to be the maid anymore. You're going to be done for, right? So the maids were scared of her. They didn't believe her. No, they did believe her. They were scared of her, so they never told anybody nothing. So essentially, Moses, he was raised as a prince of Egypt. He was raised as the prince of Egypt, and he became kind of like the favorite of like the guy. But essentially, what happened afterwards? Moses did discover that his mom, who he thought his mom, wasn't actually his biological mom, and then he figured out that he was actually an Israelite. That's what Moses figured out. So he was like, I can't, how am I gonna be this? Like, how am I an Israelite? I understand that this is where I come from, but Moses also had quote unquote compassion, you can say a little bit. So he was like, this isn't right. I don't want to enslave these people. He wanted them to be free. So he was like, I'm not gonna be a prince anymore. He was banished once he was found, like once his the king found out he was banished, went in the wilderness, went to the mountain, spoke to God, understood the word of God. He came back to Israel when he was like he came back to Egypt when he was older, and then he essentially freed the people. Yeah. So that's what happened. He opened the waters, he turned a stick into a snake and all that as the story goes. So yeah, good story. If you want a more concise version of it, no, a more better explained version with all the things in it, 'cause I did leave some out, go to the Bible stories or find a good movie, things like that. Okay. Um, okay. Okay, what are we saying? I just put you 1 second, guys. I can't. 1 minute, please. Ew. Okay. Okay. What are you guys saying? Mila said those guys, the current guys living in Levant are not Jews. Oh, okay. They have no idea about the Almighty. They're imposters. Hey, Eval, tell mom I found her man for a man. Okay. Love Positive said motion was put in a black. You mean Moses? Oh, Moses was put in a black basket and floated to money. Love it uniquely. Me up. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I never knew the basket was black. Okay, nice, nice. Glad you were loving the stream. Hey, Christopher, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Welcome to Trivia Monday. We are asking questions about Trivia Monday. Do you want questions about marriage? We can ask, so I can get some topics about that for you guys after. But welcome to the live stream, guys. It's Unique Lamia here. We're asking some trivia-based questions. We did some questions about Christianity. Now this is some what is it? Um, said the plastic. So the basket wasn't black. Somebody typed the basket was black in the chat. That was love positive. So yeah. But yeah, right now we're doing some questions related to the Torah and the Israel Judaism religion. All right. Hey Teach, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. What's up? What's up with you? Glad you could be here. Nails on fleek. Glad you like the nails. I do the nail live streams most Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as long as we live stream from the Unique Lumia studio. Really, really appreciate it. My faith is that I believe in one God. I'm monotheistic. I don't believe in multiple gods. So yeah, I'm glad you could be here. If you are part of the Islam religion, if you're part of Judaism, if you are part of Christianity, if you're part of Hinduism, if you're part of no religion, you are still more than welcome on the channel for your positivity and uniqueness. Just don't bash anybody for their religious beliefs and etc. Alrighty. So yeah. Okay, so wait, I need another question. Um okay. Mm, 1 minute, guys. Okay. Let's do this one. We were speaking about this guy earlier. It's a lot of overlap between Christianity and Judaism. So if you're like, these questions don't sound like it, let's see if we can find another one. What do you guys say? You're from East Africa. Okay, cool. What's it like in East Africa? Do you like it living there? Okay. Wait 1 minute. Got another question for y'all. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, making the poll right now. Making the question, guys. Making the question. I'm reporting live from the United States of America. You're in the state of New York. Glad you could be here. How's everything going with you today? Okay, it's Trivia Monday. So this is gonna be our last question related to Judaism, and then we'll move on to Islam. Okay. So who was the first king of Israel? Do you think it was Saul? Do you think it was David? Or are we thinking it was Samuel? Who was the first king of Israel, guys? Red them. Okay, read that. Very nice. Okay, thank you, Teach. Glad you like the nails. Glad you like the nails. Yeah, I feel like it's fun. When I first did it, I really didn't like it. My nails take a while to grow on me. It's similar to hairstyle sometimes. Like sometimes I'll get a hairstyle. I'm like, what in the world? But it takes a while to grow on me. But the nails is cool.
Hey Drake, glad you could be on the live stream today. I'm your favorite person. Glad I could be your favorite YouTuber. Really, really cool. Welcome to Trivia Monday. What did you do today? Hopefully everyone had a good Monday. So we are asking some questions related to religion right now for trivia. We started with some questions for Women's History Month, and then we went to some questions about travel, and then now we asked some questions about Christianity. Now we're on some questions about Judaism. Love to know what you do today. What are you planning on eating? And the trivia question is, who was the first king of Israel? Do you think it's Saul, David, or Samuel? Today was mostly in the house day. Clean up a little bit. My mom, she made bakes, also known as floats, and I ate that with saltfish and eggs. So put in your answers, put in your answers. Okay. Let's end the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. So, okay. 33% said David, 67% said Saul. The correct answer is actually Saul. So, I'll tell you a little bit about both of them. I don't know much about Saul, right? My mom's not here right now. So, we'll go off of Google what they say about Saul. I do know a lot about David, though. But so for Saul, we're going to see what Google says. Essentially, according to this, he was a Benjaminite and was the first king of Israel, right? In the Hebrew Bible. He was anointed by the prophet Samuel to unify the tribes against Palestine. Okay. Read that. He was known for his military leadership. Okay. Chosen by God, appointed by Samuel. We said that. He united the Israelite tribes. That's good. That's funny. They said his key features or his key traits described as tall and handsome initially. And they put initially, so he got uglier as the old age. That's crazy. Why? That's funny, man. Why would they put that in there about somebody in the Bible? Okay. His reign was marked by struggles and eventually loss of divine factor. Ooh, due to disobedience. You disobeyed God? I'll do it right there for you, dude. Don't be disobeying God. Get to their head too much. They always disobey God in the end for some reason. Not all the time, sometimes. So, about David and Goliath. You heard about David and Goliath? That's our David right there, right? So, David and Goliath, he's had the giant. He saw the giant. He picked up the rock and he put the rock in his, what's the name? The sling thrower. He just picked up one rock. He was like, kabam, the giant went down. From that moment, David was the guy. Prior to that, I think he was like a cattle herder, a sheep guy. Like he was in charge of that. So once again, back in the day, you could be like a major, minor peasant, and you could rise up to be king, right? So he did that. And then David was Samson's dad. David danced in the street to praise the Lord when he was anointed to be king, right? So when people want to bash my dancing, who knew how David danced? I'm not comparing myself to David, but like when people want to bash my dancing in public, I'm dancing for the God, right? Like, let's say that for now, all right? So, yeah. So yeah, David was pretty good. Pretty good guy. I mean, only thing that David did, which was kind of iffy, So he saw Solomon's wife, right? And he watched her bathe without her consent, right? And then Solomon's wife was already married. Oh wait, David was Samson's father? Why did my mom text me? She confused me. Wasn't David Solomon's father? Who was? Let's see. Don't tell me I'm saying stuff wrong. Why stop texting me? She's texting me wrong stuff. Mother, she's watching the stream. Don't text me wrong stuff, please. Stop texting me. But I was correct. That's what I mean. I'm saying stuff right, and people be telling me I'm wrong and throwing me off. I was on a mojo right now, man. But anyway, as I was saying, the only thing iffy that David did was that he saw Solomon's wife. No, he saw Solomon's mom, and she was already married, right? And even God thought this was iffy because he don't like he God was upset in the Bible with David after this, right? So Solomon's mom was already married, but David saw her and was like, "Ooh, you are beautiful. I want to marry you," right? And back in the day, divorce wasn't really a thing. So you know what he did? You know what he did you know what he did to her husband? He sent her husband to the front. He knew he wasn't coming back from that war, and the husband did not come back from the war. And literally like a day after, he married her. And bam, that's what happened. So yeah, even God was upset with that one. But yeah, outside of that, I guess he was a pretty good king. So yeah. Okay. It all starts with Adam and Eve. I mean, in the Bible, it all starts with Adam and Eve. With human life, I mean, I don't know. Starts God, right? But yeah. Drake said, I just realized we're in Mia's room. No, uniquely Mia mom. Queen Mother said hi to everybody in the chat. Why is this person playing music? Ghetto man. Come on. It's not even a good Justin Bieber song. Who is that? That's not even Justin Bieber. If you want to blast music like that, at least let them have good taste in music, right? Like, what is this? Are they not going to turn it off? Can you call 911 on people for making noise? I would do it. I'll be a snitch if I could. I used to call the RA on call. Like, what are you doing? I don't think they're stopping. Oh my god. Can you guys hear me still? This is annoying. What? Play some better music if you want to blast it. But what was I saying? Yes, we are in the room. I wanted the natural light for today's live stream. Change of scenery. We get the natural lighting. I was going in the living room and I was just looking. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be in that. Like it's artificial lighting all around the living room. At least you get natural light from my room. So we're here today. I think you dance well. Thank you so much. Oh, you don't hear the music? Okay, nice. He watched who Bade Drake. So David watched Solomon's mother Bade prior to them being married because she was already married, right? Kat said, I'm still at work, but I got 30 minutes left. Okay, nice. Nice. Shout out to you, Cats, for always being on the stream. Even when you're at work, I really appreciate it. Drake said, Mom, you see, I just mentioned you. I'm always thinking about you. Hey, Uniquely Mom, Cat said. Drake said, Cats, it'll be over when you get off. Cat said no. Oh yeah, we can double back. We can probably circle back to the women's history questions at the end, but like this whole month is Women's History Month, and I never knew that until I was on social media. So like as long as we stream from like the Unique Lumia studio on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I can always ask those trivia questions at least for the remainder of March, similar to what we did like in Black History Month. What might not be true, Mila? Drake said, I just got here. I'm a bad supporter. I missed live. No, you guys are not. You guys are awesome supporters. Shout out to you guys. You joined right on time, right? You joined right on time. It's the glory of God to conceal a matter and the honor of kings and queens to seek out the answer. If you want to know my age, Christopher, go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and either watch my Washington, D.C. birthday adventure videos or my birthday adventure playlist. Happy watching. Excuse me. So now let's move on to some Islam questions since we've got to make it fair. Let's do like the three pantheon of religions, honestly. I say pantheon because those are the three main religions, right? Obviously there are more religions, but those are the three main ones in society, in the world, right? That has the most practitioners, right? Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. Okay, so let's see some more. But how's everyone doing today? What are you eating? Anything interesting happened today over the weekend? Would love to know. Would love to know. Okay. I really don't know any of these stories from Islam, so I'm just gonna ask y'all the questions and so there's not gonna be much elaboration for these because I don't really know much stories, like much about the stories for it, but we can learn together. No, for real, Drake, like where is Evan? To answer like the Muslim Islamic questions. Okay. But one thing about the Islamic religion that I always say is cool, based on what I've heard other people who practice the religion say, and I'm seeing with these answers, they believe in the other prophets that came in the other religious texts. They just don't. They just think they're prophets, which is interesting. They're not discredited in their existence. So, who is considered the last prophet in Islam? Do you think it's Muhammad? Do you think it's Isa, which is also Jesus? Do you think it's Musa, which is Moses, or do you think it's Ibrahim, which is Abraham? Um how I support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and immersing yourself into the full nutritional YouTube videos that I have on my live. I was gonna say live streams that I have on the channel. Immersing yourself into the live streams, watching the YouTube shorts, and etc. And when you go through the ads and when you watch the videos and engage, I do make an income off of that, which all goes into an account. And one day, I'll be able to pay off my student loan debt, no matter how small, or perhaps one day we'll make enough on YouTube where I can pay the whole thing. So yeah. Kat said, okay, today for lunch I ate a yummy Caesar salad. Very nice, very nice. I do like a good Caesar salad, Kat. Sounds good. Caesar salad is definitely one of my favorite salads. Prior to me liking Caesar salad, I did like blue cheese a lot. Like blue cheese dressing was really good, but it was only ever the blue cheese dressing from like Red Lobsters for the salad. Anytime my mom used to buy it from the store, it never was the same. And then one time I tried Caesar salad and I was like, this is so good. This is the new salad that I'm gonna eat for a long time. And now it's really, really good. I do like it. So, what do we think the answers? We got one vote. If you don't know the answer, just make an educated guess. If you can't make an educated guess, just make a random guess. You're not penalized for getting the wrong answer. I don't know. I don't see who's voting. So, let's see if we get more than one vote in, guys. Who is considered the last prophet in Islam? Are we thinking it's Muhammad? Do we think it's Isa? Do you think it's Musa? Or are we thinking it's Ibrahim? What are we saying? Kat said, I have an ex who is Muslim and lots of coworkers who are Muslim. So I know a bit about this one. Okay, okay, very nice, very nice. Kat's all right. So you got a leg up on this one. Drake said, Kat's really said yummy. Hey, some food is just really yummy, right? I feel like yummy is like the word to describe food sometimes. So I can understand that. Like some food is just like bleh. Like you can't even describe it. It's really nasty, right? And other food, it's just really good, right? So yeah. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Not a lot of people are thinking about the answer, which is okay. I'll tell you the answer in five, four, three, two, and one. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. So, for the one person who voted, yes, Cats, you are correct. It is Muhammad. Muhammad was considered the last prophet of Islam. But Mila, the correct answer was looking for the last, not the first prophet, right? So, Muhammad is considered the last prophet of Islam. But I guess I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, if you're looking at the text, the books, and I guess Abraham would be the first human prophet if you're reading the books, right? At least the Christianity one. Kat said, LOL. Yummy is a regular part of your vocabulary. I'm the only one who voted. Okay, okay. So Drake and Kat's got that one. Very nice, very nice. Let's move on to another one. Okay, I learned about this in school more so for this answer I'm about to give you guys. So, want to be the Egyptian god. Want to be the Egyptian god, the first prophet. What? I'm not sure what you mean, love positive by that. When it, I don't really know if they have prophets in Egypt. I mean, for Egyptians, because Israelites, they weren't Egyptians. They were from Israel. I don't, where are they even from? I don't, but I don't know. They weren't thing. But in which city was the Prophet Muhammad born? Was it Mecca? Was it Medina? Or do we think it's Jerusalem? In which city was the Prophet Muhammad born? Mecca, Medina, or are we thinking it is Jerusalem? I'm not Islamic. Okay, that's cool too, right? We can always learn about it, and if you don't know the answer because you're not Islamic, you can still stick around, right? As I said, we're just asking these questions to be fair because we did ask questions about what is it, Judaism and Islam prior, so we don't really do religious discrimination over here. So that's why I try to ask about a little bit about all of them to learn, because like I really didn't know the answer to the at least the Islam questions, all of them, because some of them I know the answer. Like this question I knew the answer because I learned about it in school, right? But it's just not a religion, didn't really thing. What are we saying? Okay, read that, read that. Gotta put the phone down. All right, nice, nice. Stay safe. I mean, yeah, stay safe, cats, and do your job. Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble for being on the stream. Drake said, I feel like it's the home of Mecca. Okay, nice. Great. Christopher said, hey, that boy, how are you doing? Glad you could be here. Hey, Uniquely Mia Game. Glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. It is Trivia Monday today. So on Mondays around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I just started the stream a little early, around 3 p.m. today. I ask you guys trivia questions and we go through the questions together, see if we can answer them, further our knowledge, learn a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And 75% of you guys are correct. It is Mecca. Mecca is the correct answer. That is where the Prophet Muhammad was born. And like if you are part of the Islamic religion, I've heard that you guys try to make it your life's goal to get to Mecca at least once in your life, right? To That's like your holy land. So you try to go there at least once to pay homage and respect to it. So yeah. Um let's see if we can find another one. None of these look I don't. Okay, I would know. Let's choose a random one because I'm looking at these. I'm like, what? Okay. All right, let's do this one. Thank you, thank you. Glad you like my nails, that boy. Thank you so much. I'm Uniquely Mia, also known as Mia. You can refer to me as such. But welcome to the live stream. Muan, glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. It is Trivia Monday today. On this channel, you are welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. The algorithm knew you want to be part of a community where you're welcome. So do consider subscribe so you never have to leave. What background is this? This is a pink background, that boy. So we are now in the pink room. So yeah, we got some paintings. This is like IKEA onion paintings. They were on sale for like $2. So we got two. All right. So this one right here, which angel delivered revelations from Allah to the Prophet Muhammad? What are we thinking? Do you think it was Gabriel? Do you think it was Michael? I can't even say that next one. Or do you think it was the Azrael? Who are we thinking? Jehovah Witness? What is that? Oh, you're saying you're Jehovah Witness? Okay, okay. What do you guys believe in? Being that. If you're comfortable sharing. Um, um, okay. Muhammad was sent for all mankind. Okay, cool. Cool. Not only for his tribe. Okay, cool, cool. No, this one is a hard one for y'all. Nothing. No guesses. It's okay. Make it inference. Make it inference, guys. Which angel delivered revelations from Allah to the Prophet Muhammad? You're Baptist, that boy. So you don't see someone else. So what's your religion like being Baptist? Y'all believe in God, right? Immersion into rather faith. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, we got some answers. You've got already, that boy said. Drake said, I tried to vote. It won't let me. Really? Oh, wow. So if you can't vote, you can either put the answer in the chat or I'm going to end it soon so it can thing. Hey, Vernon. Thank you, Vernon, for the floating heart. Jazz hands to you, Vernon. Really do appreciate the donation to the Uniquely Mia channel. You're helping me get one step closer to paying off my student loan debt. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Vernon and shout out to Love Positive who has donated for today's live stream. How are you doing today, Vernon? Glad you could be here. Hearts to everyone. It is Trivia Monday, and on Mondays, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as long as we stream from the Uniquely Mia studio, we got two studios, as you can see. We have a pink wall today. I try to do trivia to further our knowledge and make it a little entertaining. What'd you do today, Vernon, and everyone else? What'd you do, Gat Boy, today? Who else is on? Drake, Christopher, Mila. I know Kat said they at work. What'd you guys eat? Would love to know. It's going to be a triple tie. Glad you're doing good today. So we're going to end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. Send the poll. Alrighty. And what is the correct answer? It is Gabriel. So if you guys chose Gabriel, you are correct. Wasn't that the fighting angel? I know of the angel Azul because of the Mortal Instruments City of Bones. It's a good movie. But that's how I know about the Angel Azul. He gave humans his blood. It's a fake movie, but in the movie, he gave humans his blood to drink, and he turned them into shadow hunters. So now they're humans that like see demons and they fight them. Why couldn't I be a shadow hunter? I don't know. Jazz hands to you. Jazz hands to you, Azul. Not Azul. Jazz hands to you, Vernon. Thank you so much, for the donation to the Unique Lumia channel. Really appreciate the donation of the floating heart again. Thank you so much. Hearts to you, jazz hands to you. Help me get one step closer to paying off my student loan debt. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, if shadow hunters are real, man. If shadow hunters are real, if demigods are real, if fae are real, like, I really got the short end of the stick of the bloodline because, like, my mom didn't like none of them. You're like, really? Because imagine if they're real and, like, I can't be a shadow hunter. I can't have a sword. Imagine if, like, I don't know, what fae are real? I couldn't be like a fairy, like half fairy or whatever. Not like a fairy like Tinkerbell, a cooler fairy, right? What's the other one I said? I forgot the other one that I said. But if like demigods are real, where's my demigod power? Like what? Nothing. So now they're not real. Let's just go on the mindset they're not real. It's like Hogwarts. The other day, I told Stu, I was like, I know why I haven't gotten my Hogwarts acceptance letter. Because Hogwarts is only for European kids, and I'm American. I'm American, right? So that's why my letter is lost in the mail. Because obviously they're not gonna give me a letter if I'm not European. Duh. It makes sense, right? So yeah. Jake said they're still at McDonald's drive-through. What are you getting from McDonald's? That boy said, I'm currently working out, just started. Okay. What's your workout that you do? Like, what's your exercise routine? I do Stairmaster, treadmill, some sit-ups, and lift some weights. Vernon said, I worked, you're a little tired, so you're probably falling asleep soon. Okay, understandable. Well, thank you so much, Vernon, for stopping in to say hi. Really appreciate your generous donation again for the donation of the floating hearts. It really means a lot. So yeah, if you fall asleep, get your rest, right? You need your rest. And hopefully I see you in the next live stream or the comment section, my full nutritional YouTube video or YouTube shorts. My mom said my voice works as like ASMR. Sometimes my mom says when she's tired, she'll watch like one of my streams and I'll make her fall asleep. So yeah, you could just put the Unique Lumia stream in the background and listen to the voice while we soothe you to sleep. And maybe you'll learn something subconsciously along the way if you didn't know it already, right? Because that's what Trivia Monday's all about. That boy said can do Bible scriptures next or verse next. Oh yeah, with the trivia, yeah, for sure. We could do that with the trivia next. That boy. Christopher said going to school for theology. Okay, very nice, very nice. That boy said right now I'm on the treadmill, then the elliptical. Okay, cool. So I said I was gonna tell you a little bit about the angels. So they said Google said Gabriel is widely known as the archangel and messenger of God. Okay, in the Abrahamic religions. Oh, okay, Judaism, Christian, Islam. That's why they're so similar. They're appearing in the Bible and the Quran to deliver divine messages. So he's the messenger. The messenger always get beheaded. That's not a good job for him. But you know what? He got the immortal life, immortality. So according to this, Gabriel told Mary about Jesus's birth, that like you would have Jesus, right? So yeah, messenger. If you guys are curious to know why I said the messenger always get beheaded, go and read a biblical story, especially one where they annihilated everybody. The messenger never survives, guys. They're always the first to go. Okay. This next one, okay. Azul, okay. Or Azrael, okay, is traditionally revered as the angel of death. Really? A significant spiritual figure in Islamic and Judaism traditions. They're tasked with separating souls. That sounds like Hades. That's what I'm telling you. Greek mythology copied big time. I need to charge my computer. They copied big time. tasked with separating souls or the grim reaper from bodies upon death and guiding them to the afterlife. You cannot tell me that Greek mythology did not just steal from the Bible. That's what I'm telling you. It's not stealing. It seems like every religion rewrites the stories and changes it up. Or not religion, every culture rewrites religion and changes it up to make it more palatable, right? Or yeah, or more fascinating to the people they want to sell it to their own population right there. Cause that's Hades right there. Um, okay, what's the other god that they had? The not the other angel. Michael. Let's do Michael. I think it's Michael's the warrior. The last angel that we got from the trivia was Michael. The archangel Michael is revered in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam is the highest ranking angel. So he's like the general, the right hand, right? The leader of heaven's armies. Why in the world you got an army, man? Who you fighting? Armies and a protector of God's people. Okay, known as the warrior against evil. Okay, that's who you're fighting. He is famously depicted in Revelations casting Satan out of heaven. His name means who is like God. Okay. Okay. So he the guy who got the power. Not like you don't got all the power, but like after God, he got the power. So yeah. Don't mess with them. No, that's not good. I mean, mess with them positively, not negatively, right? But Bible scriptures was requested next. So yeah, we'll do some Bible scriptures. Yeah, I need to plug in my computer. You're going to school. Okay, read that. Read that. Good afternoon, Leroy. Lanier, not Leroy. Lanier, glad you could be here. My trip was really, really fun. Part 1, 2, and 3 in New Orleans is now out. We also went to the Louisiana State Museum. That video is also out for you. So go and watch it if you haven't already. I created a New Orleans playlist. Go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and watch my New Orleans playlist adventure videos, and you can be up to date on everything that we met. That we did. Oh, you think no, I'm not going to school for theology, Christopher. I have a bachelor's in psychology, professional writing, and master degrees in public administration, criminal justice, right? I'll be going back to school for to become an expert in criminal justice, right? But no, I'm not studying theology. My mom just taught me a lot about religions, right? It's fascinating to hear the stories sometimes, right? So this is trivia questions. The trivia questions are focusing heavily on religion today. Right? I'm not mad about it, right? So if it may seem like that, I'll take that as a compliment. But no, I'm not studying this in school. I'm not paying somebody to teach me this. I'll just go buy a Bible for free. All the books, not for free. Go to church, get a Bible for free. But I ain't paying nobody to teach me this. All right. So I gotta plug in my computer, guys. Okay. 1 second. We are back. I need to plug in my computer. It's hot in here, bros. Did I have a cord on my bed? I think I had a cord on my bed. It's kind of comfy to sit here. It's fine. It's getting hot. The sun was like shining down on me. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Do you believe in some mythology? I don't. Okay. My belief for Greek mythology. What the world? Okay. My belief for Greek mythology um stems from my fascination with the lore of it. The lore that people can have mystical powers, right? The lore that people can have immortality life on earth, right? Because we know you got immortality life when you're no longer here, right? So that's where my lore and fascination of it comes from. Immortality on earth, magical powers, ultra wealthy with them, right? That's the cool aspect of it. But I do not believe in some Greek, and I do not believe in some mythology, right? Yeah, as I said, from like going through these trivia questions and like somewhat doing preliminary research on the stories of like using the various analogies that I've been using, it seems like Greek mythology they took from Christianity, Islam, and Judaism a lot. So I guess my belief in is no my belief in Christianity and those stories, right? At least the stories that are there could lead some people to say, I believe in mythology, but I don't believe in mythology. I believe in the stories that we're hearing because they're interesting, right? That boy said, I always start off with stretching and then my cardio, like the treadmill and the elliptical. Then I do my heavy lifting, such as the bench press and deadlift, squats. Wow, that's a lot. Upper, lower workout, and basketball is your goal. Okay, nice, nice. Iron Man, Mike Tyson. Okay, cool. You're most welcome, that boy. We're actually gonna go into the scripture questions now, but I want to read the comments really quickly, see if I can get to the end. Okay. Mila said the Greek mythology is not the whole story. No, it's not the whole story, right? And if you want the whole story, people really said you gotta go to what? You gotta go to what is it? If you want the whole story with mythology, you got to go to African mythology because people said if you believe it, if you like the lore of African mythology, it was all stolen. No, if you like the lore of like Greek mythology, it was all stolen from African mythology, right? Because African mythology existed long before the monotheistic religion of God emerged, right? I believe in God, I believe in one true God. But if you're looking at the historical dates of things, right, according to just the historical dates of it, people said African mythology existed long before, right? And then other people, if you read the Bible, obviously the Bible existed long before, right? But if you're just looking at the dates with ancient civilizations and cultures and what they believed in, it was African mythology, right? Multiple gods, right? So yeah. So yeah, the Greek mythology is just not the whole story. But if you want the whole story on mythology, go to African mythology because all the other religions kind of just like made their own version. Okay. But I believe in one God. I'm not polytheistic, so yeah. Um, in which book of the Bible is the story of Noah's Ark found? So this is more so for those scripture trivia questions. Do you think it's Genesis? Do we think it's Exodus? Do you think it's what was that, Leviticus? Or do you think it's Numbers? Do you have a Bible scripture on Numbers? Okay, what are we thinking? Um, Greek mythology in the Bible share the same narrative and themes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm noticing from today's live stream, that it's very similar, right? Especially with that story, that example that I used earlier with and Achilles and Samson. They're literally the same thing, guys. It's just like a different retelling a little bit. So they're very, very similar. Okay. Problem. Okay. Same one God. Okay. So what are we thinking? The book of Genesis. Lanier said, okay, nice. We got 50% also saying the book of Genesis. We got 50% saying it's Numbers. Alrighty. So, in which book of the Bible is the story of Noah's Ark found? If you don't know what Noah's Ark is, essentially, Noah was a man. Once again, some people will describe him as a prophet. He believed in God. God came to him and was like, I'm sick and tired of all this blasphemy, this disgustingness, these sinners on planet Earth, right? Some people speculate that Noah's Ark and the flood, no, some people speculate, I saw on social media, that the flood actually occurred to kill off all the giants that existed, right? And all the giants and all the bad people obviously the bad people, right, that existed on Earth. But essentially, that's what happened. And God told Noah, for you and your family to survive, build an ark, right? Build an ark. And when you build the ark, get two of each animals, bring them on the ark, stay on the ark for like 40 days, 40 nights, I believe, and then you'll find land again. And Noah listened to God. Noah did that, and they survived. So this is what I'm saying, right? Like that, like it's very so if you look at the Bible, in my opinion, if you look at the stories, right? I haven't read all of it. I'm gonna read all of it one day, but if you look at the stories based on what I know so far, Earth restarted a lot of times, right? Obviously, people say that Adam and Eve were the original. When Noah's Ark occurred, they're no longer the original people. It became down to their family, right? So people often say there's 8 bloodlines that exist right now in like modern world. There's only 8 bloodlines. So by default, we can make the assumption there were 8 original people, kind of, right? It's just an interesting theory. But let's see what you guys are saying. I'm gonna end the poll soon. What are you guys saying? Kat said Some people think Christianity is based off no, I've heard that one too, Cats. I've heard people have also said, as Cats in Pokemon, also known as Gigi Cat, said that um the God, like God, the belief in one God, the God that we know now, they said that that person or that thing, that deity was a deity among a pantheon of gods, but they took one and they turned that one God into God, right? So yeah, I've heard that one that exists in African mythology. The poll's no longer there. I'm gonna end it then soon. I'm gonna end it. It must have disappeared. I don't know why it disappeared, but I just ended it. Um, the poll's normally on top though. If you're on your phone, I think the poll should appear at the bottom. Yeah, at the bottom, like where the chat box is. If you're on your laptop, it should just appear on the computer. If you're watching the live stream on your TV, glad you got me on the big screen. You're not gonna see the poll though. I don't think. Okay, we are just a point in time. Okay, yeah, yeah. So the correct answer is Genesis. Yes, Genesis, 40% of you guys are correct. That is where the story of Noah's Ark is found. So let's do another one. Another question, but welcome to the live stream. I do hope y'all are enjoying the live stream, guys. Hopefully you're learning something. If there's any topics y'all would like me to ask trivia questions on, feel free to type in the chat. I'll be more than happy to do so. Once again, the purpose of it, even though it may seem like we're leading towards one religion, we're really not doing that. This was just more so requested. Any topic is open for discussion on the table. If you guys want me to ask a question related to that for you guys, just tell me, and I'll be more than happy to ask you guys questions about it. Okay. So this question here, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, is from which Psalms? You got that quick. Do you think it's Psalms 23, Psalms 1, or Psalms 119? Cat said, "Wait, boat could hold that many animals." Yeah, like the boat they built, like because I feel like God had to tell them like years in advance. It had to be years in advance. So it's like it was like an ark. I said boat, but it was actually like an ark. So the thing was huge. I think a supporter. I think it was us. I think a supporter recommended that my mom and I visit the area, or if, maybe not. Or I saw it on social media. They actually did a replica of the ark in America. I don't know where, but they actually built a replica of Noah's Ark, and I've seen on social media. That thing is huge. That thing is huge, right? So it was a huge ark they had to build. And they had two of every animal: snakes, giraffes, everything. So yeah, according to the lore. So yeah, Tom said, I forgot all that stuff. Oh, you forgot it? Okay. Well, hey, the live streams, it will allow you to remember again. But glad you could be on the stream, Tom. How's everything going with you today? Christopher said, I feel your mind. I see you. I forgot one. What? Okay, Christopher. Cool. Okay. Anyway, Mila said, and don't forget, what in the world, Mila? What are you talking about, Mila? I'm confused, Mila. You're throwing me off, honestly, now. What? That was too easy. You answered that one quick. Kat said, "How did the animals not eat each other on the ark?" That's a good question. That's what I'm saying, right? At the end of the day, all these are just stories to me, right? It could have been true stories, it could have been false stories, but that's why I don't take it to heart. There are some people who take it to heart, right? I take the lessons learned from the stories to heart, but that's a valid point, right? All these animals are hungry. What'd they eat? What'd they do, right? These are all valid questions, right? To ask, right? So yeah, yeah. Like, what happened? Why didn't they do that, right? So yeah. We'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. Send the poll. Okay. We got Palms 23, and the people who said that 100% of you guys are correct. That is the correct answer. Okay. Let's do another one. Okay, let's see. I can't even see if I can choose one to try and trip y'all up a little bit. What's this question? What is this? No. Let's see. New days. Oh, I kind of gave you the answer to that one. Okay, let's do this one. Well, I don't know. You're free. Nice. Glad you're able to not be at work anymore, Kat. So what are you doing after work now? You going to the library, grocery store, friend's house, straight home if you're comfortable sharing. If you know what you're eating for dinner, I would love to know. Okay. Okay. You got it right, Christopher. Nice. Hello, hello, Gwen. How are you doing today, Gwen? Glad you could be on the stream. Glad you could be on the live stream. Remember, guys, be respectful in the live streams. Communicate respectfully. Let's not communicate rudely, inappropriately, all that. Like, communicate how you would like to be communicated to. Alrighty. I'm thirsty. I need water, guys. It's hot in here. Where in the world got water, bro? I'm sweating. Like, my room is comfortable, but I can't turn on the AC, guys. It's like the heat is on. No, it's not. But it's be too loud. So. Okay. Hey, Gwen. Gwen said, what was that? I'm good. I'm just tired. Glad you're doing good. Glad you're doing good today. Yes, snow cats. It is beautiful and it is sunny, right? It's 67 degrees in New York. Like, what in the world? Where in the world did a 67 degrees come from? If I was outside right now, I would be not wearing a jacket at all already. So this is like, what? I have water. I got water. They just sent me up here for no reason. Thank you. Take more. I don't care. Bro, what you bought two, dude? Thanks. And G bought me water. Um, I be stashing water in my room. I don't know why. I don't do it intentionally. I'll bring it up and then I forget it's here. If water expires, it was nice knowing you. I don't know how long this is in my room, but it tastes fine. Let's actually not drink the water that has been in here for a while. Alrighty. This question here is for God so loved the world that he gave his only son is from which book? Do you think it's John, Matthew, Luke, or Mark? What are we thinking? Wow, it's still snowing where you're at, Gwen. -34. Where are you, Gwen? What country are you in? What state if you're in the United States? Like, I feel sad for you, but like, I don't want the cold. So I'm sorry, Gwen. You're gonna have to keep that, honestly, because don't send it back here. It was ridiculously cold. New York has gone through 2 blizzards, extremely cold temperatures. So we don't want to take the cold back. I feel sad for you, but you'll get through it. I believe in you, all right? The key is to wear like 3 to 4 pair of pants, 3 to 4 shirts, and you'll be warm, okay? Okay? Don't worry. You got this. You got this. And I'll show you the warmness and the sunny weather in New York when I go outside. It is nice and warm. No, put that'll warm me up, Gwen. Um, Kat said, yeah, it feels so good outside. I feel so happy and fresh. No, like the snow and not the snow really like is a downer on the mood. It really is. It really is, cats, because it's great. And I was looking at the weather. I think the weather in New York, it is dropping. Wow, it is gonna be dropping, but it's not gonna be like 20 degrees. I think the low it's gonna drop is like 40, perhaps. Can you see? It's like 70 degree was the high today. Yeah, so it's not gonna be another 70 degrees this week. But the lowest is dropping is gonna be like 36, but that's not until next week. And this week is mostly gonna be 40s, 50s. So I'll take it honestly. As long as we don't get any more snow, I'm gonna be happy because I really don't like the snow and the ice. Um Gwen said, I've had too many usernames over the time I followed you. That is okay. That is okay. Okay, you was Axe. All right, all right. Well, welcome back. Welcome back, Axe. Glad you could be here. Thank you for telling me who you were when you first subscribed. Shout out to Axe, guys. They were one of Uniquely Mia's literally OG supporters. I really appreciate your subscription to the channel and your continued support, Gwen, also known as Axe. How's everything going with you and the bionic arm, all your awesome adventures? Last time my mom and I heard you were on an all oil rig, right? Doing oil rig stuff in the middle of the ocean. Then you said you were in Russia, right? So awesome, awesome. And shout out to all of Unique Lumia supporters. I really do appreciate your support and your subscription. It really, really means a lot. Thank you guys for deciding to subscribe and be part of Unique Lumia channel. So we'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. So the correct answer is 50% of you guys, John. So, yeah, that is the correct answer. So, let's do one more of these and then we'll go on to another topic. I like to do 3 or 4 of each. So, just to keep the attention span, I've noticed if you ask questions about the same thing too much, then attention span of people kind of dilutes, diminishes. Okay. Okay. Let us see. Y'all should get this one, I feel like. I gave you the hint earlier, unintentionally. And if you've read the Bible or heard any Bible stories, they like this number a lot, I've noticed. So, let us see. Okay. So, this question here, how many days and nights did it rain during the flood in Noah's time? Was it 40? Do you think it was 7? Do you think it was 50? Or are we thinking it was 100? Okay, you've been staying home. Okay, okay. Very nice. Sometimes we need to take a break from like the adventures, right? And like just chillax, recuperate at home. So nice, nice. Glad you could be home. And thank you again for stopping in onto Unique Lumia's channel. I do hope that by watching the videos, it's able to provide you a source of entertainment and something to do, right? And maybe it'll aid you in planning your next adventure, right? Whether that is a holiday adventure or working adventure or anything in particular. Okay. 100 cats said they guessed. Okay, nice. Good guess. You forgot. If you forgot, you can just make like an educated guess. Remember, you were not reprimanded in any way for what the world? That was blocking that for getting the answer wrong. Okay, you got it, that boy said. Apologies, guys. Ding 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 do 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 some like Jeopardy music in the background. Okay, very nice, very nice. So the correct answer is 60% of you guys. Yes, 40 days and 40 nights. I told you guys the Bible seems to like that number, right? I don't know what was happening when they were rewriting it or something, but 40 was the hot number because what? Moses went in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, right? Noah's Ark, 40 days and 40 nights. I'm sure some other person in the Bible was doing something that took 40 days and 40 nights. So yeah, who knows? You know what? They said the calendar has changed many times. Do you think the original calendars was like 40 days? Let's see. Let's see what Google says. How long were original? Because we use the Gregorian calendar now. This isn't the original calendar they used back in the day. Okay, what does Google say? Google says the original Roman calendar is not even what we want either because the Romans, they created their own calendar, man. Why they made so many? But it says the original Roman calendar traditionally attributed was 10 months. Okay, 300. How was 10 months? Okay, 304-day years starting in March, leaving a 51 to 61 day winter gap. They later changed it to the 12-month. So let's see calendar in the Bible. Let's see what they say. According, this is all Google, could be wrong. And Google is not a valid source of information, but for the live streams, I like to use it because it gets us the quick answers. Okay, so it says in the Bible, the original calendar still used the 12 months, 29 or 30-day calendar, but it had 354 days in the year. I don't know. That's a question only a time machine will answer, honestly. Um, okay, Lanier said 40. Yes, I'm from New York. Yes, I am in New York. Kat said, I just realized how pretty your dress is, me. I love puffy sleeves. Thank you, thank you. I got it from Burlington. Not last year, a while ago, a few years ago. It was like $15. I do like it. It is like kind of short though, I've noticed a little bit. But it is a pretty dress. It's a summer dress that I like to wear, and the sleeves are very cute. I do agree. This is the sleeves, and the color was what prompted me or encouraged me to buy it, because one, I don't have a lot of yellow clothes, and two, I love puffy sleeves and fun dresses. We aren't on the right time. What do you mean? They changed the time. So we're in daylight savings time. So the time went forward. So we kind of lost an hour, right? So yeah, Kat said, yeah, some people say the original New Year's was March 1st. Yes, Kat. And you know what? Um when 2026 in January 2026, right? For some reason, my social media was telling me all about how we're not actually in 2026, because some people, I've told you guys before that the way time works now, according to female's body and ancient civilizations, is not how time is supposed to function. Because ancient societies, I told you guys before, and the reason I'm saying all this, it'll get to Kat's point that she mentioned. But in the past, I told y'all that I saw a creator on social media. She studies this, so it could be false, but I'm just saying what she said, right? Remember, as I said, never take what I say on stream as fact. Always do your own preliminary research. You could take what I say in my educational videos as being close to truth, because they're educational videos, but on stream, I just be saying stuff, honestly. But I saw this creator's video, and she said, in ancient societies, the way that people categorized time or told time was based on a female's body. Because if you think about it this way, when a female is having a child, it takes 9 months for the child to fully develop, right? So people are like, if we are looking at the 9-month period to say, okay, this is when a child is going to be fully developed, why don't we use a female's body to determine time in existence within itself, right? So I say all that to say it relates back to Gigi Cat's, also known as Cat's statement, which she just said, saying that people say the original New Year was March 1st. I can believe that because March 1st is like the spring equinox. It's the start of spring. And what happens, guys, what happens during spring? If you look at the seasons, there's a lot of rain. That's when flowers start to grow. That's when new life emerges in nature, in Mother Earth, right? So people said, and in ancient societies, the spring equinox, similar to the winter equinox, it was always celebrated because it was a new season. So that's why Kat said, people said the original New Year's was March 1st, because the original New Year's went according to planet Earth and how things grew and emerged. I think Chinese New Year is in February. But yeah, there's some people who still do like what they said, Ethiopia. They have their own calendar, I think, or Ghana. So Ghana, one of those African countries, said they're still in the year 2018 because they follow their own stuff. But yeah, Christopher said very skin supporting, nice choice to dress. Thanks again. Thank you. Glad you like it. Glad you like the dress. Yeah, I like the dress. It's pretty. Got it from Burlington. Burlington has like the fun dresses. Time for blossoming. Yep, exactly. That's what people said in March. So that's why the original time is like that. But I'll just use the calendar we have now, honestly. I'm not gonna be like one of those people say, let's go back in the day, but it's just interesting, right? If society actually did this, right, it will be completely different. Kat said, in society, I believe time is like money. It's something made up. Yeah, yes, that we have no choice but to follow. No, that is so true, Kat. That's a great statement. I never thought about that, but that is true. I can definitely see that perspective for sure. And that's a good one too, I think. Because like once again, another video. For some reason, anytime in January with the new year, like a whole bunch of people always, all these videos always pop up on my social media page. But another video I saw from a creator was like saying, happy 2026, everyone. Time to do everything all over again. And that is so true. Like, sometimes you'll get bored. Like, I remember there were times when I was at school and I just got bored because I'm like, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. Like, sometimes I'll be home now and I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I'm bored. I'm just doing the same thing every week. Why do you like go on an adventure, something new, right? But like, do you ever just get bored? Like, you just go bored? That is valid, right? It's the same thing with time, what Kat said. But we don't complain and we don't get bored with like the reset of a new year, with us having to do everything like the same holidays, right? The same birthdays, the same summer breaks, right? We don't get bored with that because, as Kat said, it's like money. It's like you want money, right? So to get money, you need to follow this new calendar. So that's very understandable, right? So yeah, I mean that's why people often say if you have a certain amount of wealth, you're just able to do what you want to do. And sometimes people are more happy with that because like you're able to change things up and be a little flexible, right? But when you're not ultra wealthy, right? And yeah, when you're not ultra wealthy, 9 times out of 10, you really have no choice but to like stay in the box and do this thing, right? That's why, at least on the Uniquely Mia channel, I try to, I don't know, show my positivity and uniqueness, right? And my life experiences as it relates to education, travel, fashion, dance, and etc. Because I hope it's able to show you guys a new perspective. Yeah, even though time is resetting, at least we're able to do something new each year, right? And in its core, my YouTube channel, it has allowed me to do that a little bit, right? Because sometimes on YouTube, my mom will look for like new things for us to do. I'll look for new things for us to do, right? That we probably wouldn't have done in our norm because, and the reason why we're doing it, because it's good content things for you guys to see, right? So that's why shout out to you guys for subscribing to YouTube and becoming Uniquely Mia supporters, right? Because you're taking us out of that complacency a little bit, right? With just the cycle of everything, doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? We're doing something a little different, which makes things a little interesting. So that's why I always tell you guys, challenge yourself, learn something new, go on a new adventure, try a new hobby, try a new style choice, get a new opinion. I don't know, something different. So you're trying, so you're not just fitting into this box that society has given you. At least you're changing some stuff a little, some stuff up a little bit, right? But hey, David, glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. Glad you like the outfit. Glad you like the hair. Really like the glasses. Really, really appreciate it. It is Trivia Monday. So do you guys have any other topics that you guys want me to ask your trivia questions on? Um, Open book. It could be anything, but I guess I can show you some stuff that I have around me, right? While you guys think about some topics. If not, we could turn it into a chat session. But look, we got this bag. This is my mom's bag. She gave it to me. If you guys are wondering why it's in my room, some of the bags I have taken, but she doesn't care. But yeah, we have this bag. I do like it. It's very cute, Queen Mother. This is very out there for my mom. She really doesn't wear colorful things. I have yet to wear it outside yet, just because my mom's always walking. I'm always walking with a book bag anytime I go outside. And then this one's fun. This is a canister. I really want to put water in it one day, but I'm scared that it'll mess it up. Stu, myself, and my mom, we went to the Grand Canyon. If you guys want to see us in the Grand Canyon, go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and watch my, I think it's titled Grand Canyon or Las Vegas vlog. It's one of the two. And when we went there, I actually got this at a gas station. When you visit, at least when we visited the Grand Canyon, they didn't have any like good souvenirs in the gift shop for some reason. So I got this at a gas station. I think I paid like $25 for it or $30. And I've never worn it outside. That's my problem. I don't say it's a problem because it is a good souvenir, but I've never worn it outside because it's not practical. Why in the world would you go outside like this? No money can fit in this. I put money in this, I'm never getting it out. So that's what I'm saying. I need to put water in it one day. Maybe one day I'll actually go hiking and then I'll be able to use it. Probably not. So that's that. And then the last thing I could show you guys, which is really cool, that I think is cool. Y'all might, oh, bro. Oh my God. Y'all might not think it's cool, but we got a Harry Potter figurine. Expecto Patrona. So yeah, Harry Potter figurine. My mom got this for me for Christmas 2 years ago. So yeah, if you can't tell, I do like Harry Potter. Mild obsession, not a lot. It's not that I like Harry Potter. I like the Harry Potter movies and universe. The character of Harry Potter, you're meh. You ain't all that, dude. But the lore of it, I like the universe more so than Harry himself. How do I put it back on the stand? 1 second, guys. I took him off the stand and now he don't want to stay. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to. If you fall down, I'm gonna cry. Nothing but not fall down. How to go to my homepage? Click my on you. If you're on your phone, I think you click my name. I think. Kat said, I know they're very. I know, sorry. I know they were kind of excluded, but I wonder if any Black women are known for working during that time. Which time? Oh, wait. I skipped one of your comments. Trivia question. Oh, okay. About Black women who led the feminist movement. Okay, yeah, we can do something like that. That'll be fun. Yeah, that'll be fun. Never thought about that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. That's what we find. Unfortunately, it may be lost history. Yeah, that is true, right? Yep. But we found some. I won't, but it's yeah. We'll ask some and see who led it though. Okay, so this one's a good one to start off with. Let's do this one, guys. Any suggestion on top for trivia? Yeah, I'll take any suggestion that we can do. But yeah, it could be any topic related to anything. It could be food, it could be cars, as I said earlier, it could be handbags, it could be airplanes, right? Just know the more specific the question, you'll probably be the only one to know the answer. And I'm just saying that everyone could know the answer. Right? I really don't know what you guys know, honestly. So, but sometimes the more specific we get, right? Like if I ask a Harry Potter question, only people who really like the Harry Potter lore and who have actually seen the movies or read the books will know the answers, right? But so yeah, but it could be about anything almost. Um, Alrighty. So we got this one. Who co-founded the Kambachi River Collective, which was a key Black feminist organization in the 1970s? That's what I'm saying. 1970s is when this happened. Like whatever it is happened. Like it's not that far ago. There are people alive who was born before the 1970s, right? So this is why, guys, when we talk about advocacy for minorities, for female minorities, and people are like, why are you in the past? It's not really in the past, right? This is why conversations need to continually be held about these things, continuously need to be held about these things, right? So yeah. You got it, that boy said. Christopher said they got it. That boy said we can do brands like name brand items. Okay, okay. Yeah, we can do something like that after. Okay, nice. Okay. Okay. Okay, Kat said their guess is Angela Davis. Okay, nice. Good guess, good guess. Thinking. Let's see what other people say. Excuse me. Let's see if you're right, that boy said. Okay. Let's end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the polls in the poll. So the correct answer is Barbara Smith. It is Barbara Smith. So she was the one who was a key co-founder, which was that. I've never heard about that one before that before. So yeah, as I'm saying, histories in schools, they don't really teach you much about Black history, right? They'll go over slavery and that's basically it, right? But nothing really much. Okay, so let's do another one. Alrighty. This one. What's another one? This is a common term. I feel like it's more so of a psychological term when you learn about psychology a lot, but this was a good one to ask. Yeah, I've never heard of her either, right? So all these women, like, well, no, I've heard of some of these women, but like most of the women that like there are the answer options, the choices, I've never really heard about them. And once again, let's see. 1 minute. All right. So this question, which Black feminist writer and activist coined the term intersectionality? Which Black feminist writer and activist coined the term intersectionality, guys? What are we thinking? And intersectionality is essentially the idea of understanding how social and political identities merge together. So it can be things like race and sexuality. So I'm reading, I know what it is, but I can't use the example of it. So an example is saying one thing like looking at race and religion, right? When you look at from a public administration standpoint, when we think about the idea of intersectionality, it's saying, yes, we identify that diversity in the workplace is somebody's gender. Like I'm a female. So when I enter a workplace, I will be a diverse individual because of my gender, right? But also my race. It makes me something, it makes me also diverse as well, right? And these things can collide simultaneously, right? And if I have a religion that is somewhat oftentimes marginalized, right? Or seen as a stigma for people, right? Like I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Some individuals who wear the hijab sometimes they are treated differently sometimes, right? Based on their experience, their recounts of it, right? That would be triple intersectionality. So it's understanding that things that make me unique that I cannot change, my religion, my gender, or my race, how that would impact me when I enter the workforce or in a social setting with speaking to somebody else, right? As an example. So it merges that together for this Black feminist, she probably coined the term because what she was an African American female, right, who most likely existed during a time where African Americans were not welcomed into these spaces, right, into certain spaces, right. In addition to that, she was a feminist, right, and people do see feminists for some reason as being as a negative. Some people, not all people, right? So that's why she most likely created it, whoever it was. But what do we think the answer is? Hey, staying off the grid. Glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. Um, that boy said, got it. Kat said, Crenshaw for sure. I wrote papers about her. Love her. Okay, nice, nice. So we'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll end the poll. Doesn't want to end. And Gigi Cat, also known as 25% of you guys are correct. I think 25 is about 2 people out of all those votes, most likely. So yeah, 2 people got it right. It is Kimberly. I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. I feel like it's Kimberly. That E with the apostrophe is throwing me off, but Crenshaw. No, it wasn't Maya Angelou. Not this time. Not Maya Angelou. Okay, we'll do one more. This one's a good one. I'll do one more. Okay. 1 second. Ooh, what? How in the world? Oh, it brought me all the way up, guys. 1 second. But glad you could be here, staying off the grid, everyone else. How are you guys doing today? Always a pleasure when you guys are on. Thank you so much for making the Uniquely Mia channel part of your day. Okay. Would love to know, what are you guys planning on eating? What are you doing today? Hopefully you guys had a good Monday. Yeah, Kimberly's right. Okay. Okay. He had leftovers. What was leftovers? So which Black feminist poet and essayist wrote Sister Outsider, which was a key text in feminist theory? What are we thinking, guys? Okay, you guys say Maya Angelou. Any other ideas? What are we thinking? You learned something? Nice, nice. Glad you're able to learn something. And that's what the live streams, particularly the Trivia Mondays, is all about. Is to learn something ultimately, right? Especially when you get it wrong. If you get it right, you're just more knowledgeable and strong in your answer that you got right. Kat said Crenshaw was a civil rights attorney and was helping defend women who was doing about sexism and racial discrimination. So that's why she coined the term to help the judges understand her. Wow, struggle. Wow, that's nice. Okay, very nice. Thanks for providing that backstory, Kat. It's really interesting, right? Great work there on her end, right? That boy said southern fried steak, okay, mashed potatoes, yellow rice with peppers and onions, homemade buttermilk biscuits, and mac and cheese. Very nice, very nice. Sounds good, sounds good. Protein pack, a little of the healthy fats there, a little bit of the unhealthy fats in that meal. Very nice. Kat said, Andrea Lord for sure. I also wrote papers about her and love her. Okay, very nice, very nice. So we'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So Katz is right once again, in addition to 50% of you guys. It does sound good. That sounds good. And for dessert, you're gonna have sour cream 7-Up pound cake. Sour cream? No? Okay, okay. I've never had that before. I've never even had sour cream, I don't think. Does it taste like sour cream? So we're gonna now move on to the question about the various brands, and that'll most likely be your last trivia topic for today. But we can turn it into a mini chat session after if you would like. So we're gonna do like the last 3 to 4 trivia questions, and then we can turn to chat session if you guys want. So let's see. Start off a little easy, guys. Oops, 1 second. The answer was a 50% of you guys. Audre Lorde or Audrey, I want to say, but with a U, but that's the answer. Okay, so hot in here. That boy said, "No, you can't even taste the sour cream because it's mixed with the cake batter." Okay, 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 okay. Very nice, very nice. All right. So this one right here. Which company is famous for its "Just Do It" slogan? Do you think it's Nike? Are you thinking it's Adidas? Or do you think it's Puma? People from Australia say Adidas, like Adidas. I can't say how they say it. Look at this. I want to show you guys this. This is an Amerindian, and this is cassava. Who are Amerindians and what is cassava? When you go to Guyana, Amerindians are like the original people. You know, like Native Americans are in America. These are Amerindians. So they're like the Native Americans of Guyana. Cassava is provisions. It's also food that you can eat. My mom and I, we went to Kaitra Waterfalls, which is the world's longest single drop waterfall. If you guys would like if you like to see Queen Mother and Unique Limia and Kaitra Waterfalls, go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and scroll down until you see Kaitra Waterfalls, and you can watch that video. It's a great video. You guys should watch it. Adventure pack. We're in nature, right? If I can make a lot of money, right, and if they had Wi-Fi, I would live somewhere like that because I'm sure my life expectancy would definitely increase 100%, right? So yeah, kind of scary to live up there, but it was just much cleaner. That was the cleanest place, and that going to Kaitra Waterfall, I can confidently say, out of all the places I've ever been to, that was the cleanest place I've ever been to, and that was where I got the cleanest air I've ever breathed in my life, consumed, you can say, in my life. Kaitra Waterfalls. Yeah, cool. And we got this. I have another one, but I have an animal. I don't know where I put it though. You're part American Indian? Okay, very cool, very cool. Um, Kat said, I mentioned Audre Lorde on the stream before. She made the infamous quote, "A master's tools will never dismantle the master's house," generally meaning you can't fight racism with racism. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. Okay, cool, cool. It's an interesting quote right there. Very nice. Like depends what group you are and how much power you have. But that's an interesting quote for sure. Very nice. Which company is famous for its "Just Do It" slogan? We'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. Alrighty, so it is Nike. It is Nike. 86% of you guys are correct. It's the check mark, and then underneath or on top, they have the just do it. Hey, Nunu, welcome back. You're pretty. You remind me of Mars Martins. I have no idea who that is. Mars Martins, who is that? I have my computer. I can Google them. Nothing came up when I Googled their name. I don't know who that is. Hey Christopher, glad you could be here. How are you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to the live stream. If I skipped over your comment earlier, apologies. Sometimes the comments don't come through or thing. But glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. Oh, Marseille Martin. Okay. Oh, I know who she is. Why do I remind her of you? Wish I had her network or her connections, right? Or her fashion, honestly. More so her connections. That will get me places for sure. But yeah. Thank you, thank you. I'm uniquely Mia, also known as Mia. So, yeah. Okay. Alright. Let's do another one. Okay. Okay. So, which tech company created the iPhone? I feel like these are very easy. Apple, Samsung, or Microsoft. What are we thinking? She's beautiful. She's 21 years old now. Okay, cool. All right. Christopher said Apple. Okay. What are we thinking? I'm gonna get a hard one for you guys next. These are more so these are like more so the brand questions, and we know most of the brands. I feel like I can't even choose because sometimes I'll be on social media and I learn about a brand just without me ever wanting to learn about it, right? So it's kind of hard to make these trick questions, right? I guess this one might trip y'all up a little bit, so we'll choose this one. I'll do this one next for you guys. But these questions are kind of hard to make difficult, I feel like. I'll speak into the history of it. Kat said, yeah, she still looks like a kid, though. It's crazy. Yeah, I saw a picture of her. Yeah, I guess some people just keep the baby face for a long time. And it depends how you dress, too. Because, like I said, sometimes I'll just wear, like, regular sweatpants. The amount of times I've gone out with my mom and they think I'm a kid or in high school, it's really funny. I don't correct them sometimes. Let them think whatever they want, right? But it's just really funny. So I think it's how you dress. And if you don't look old, that plays a factor into it. So, yeah. Kat said, an iPhone a day keeps the doctor away. That boy said she does look like a kid still, Gigi. All right, we'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. And 100% of you guys are correct. It was Apple who created the iPhone. So this one might be a little more difficult. So let's see what this one is about. Hey, Syria. It's been a while since you've been on stream. Glad you could be on and say hi. How are you doing today? Always a pleasure. Dr. Mia, congratulations on the admission. I'm at work, but wanted to congratulate you. A blessing to the world. Thank you so much for your kind words, Syria. Really appreciate your congratulations and your kind words. Really means a lot. Thank you for your support. Glad you could be on the stream even though you're at work. Thank you again for that. I hope you're having a great day. That's definitely a sweet message for sure, as Kat said. Really appreciate it. Always a pleasure when you're on. Welcome to Trivia Monday. If you're able to tell us how you're doing, would love to know how's everything going with you. All right. Okay. Let's see this one. Okay, so this one might be a little difficult. So, which brand is famous for its luxury handbags and interlocking the C logos? Do you think it's Chanel? Do we think it's Gucci? Do you think it's Prada? Or do you think it's Louis Vuitton? I think it's Louis Vuitton. I feel like some Italian people would bash me when I say Louis Vuitton. But it's French. I think it's Louis Vuitton. It's like Ralph Lauren. Sometimes I remember I was on social media and like people, because like as we know, most luxury brands are like French, European. So when us as Americans say it, they're always quick to bash us and be like, no, it's actually Louis Vuitton, right? Or Louis Vuitton, right? So I remember Ralph Lauren, they're from New York, right? So they're an American brand. And I saw an interview where somebody from France. No, where somebody American, who was it? It was somebody, but an American and a French person was speaking. And the French person said Ralph Lauren, like they said Ralph Lauren with like the French terminology. And when the American person said Ralph Lauren, the French person tried to correct the American, like, no, you're saying it wrong. And then everybody came after the French people and was like, you can't tell us we're saying Ralph Lauren wrong because Ralph Lauren is American and we're saying it right. So that's really funny because most luxury brands are French, right? So we say it wrong. It's not that we say it wrong. Like I'm not saying it wrong. I'm just not saying with the accent, right? But it's just really funny. We got one brand, Ralph Lauren. I don't think I have like Ralph Lauren is kind of expensive. It's not ridiculously expensive compared to Gucci, Ralph Lauren, but still up there for a sweater. But it's just really funny. You've got a lot of these brands, that boy. Nice, nice. I thought it was Interlochen G's. That one's I can't tell you the answer. I can tell you the answer for that one after, but I can't tell you now. Um, Kat said I thought Louis Vuitton was French. I'm confused. No, I think we're confused. Let me actually go. I think it's French or Italian.